probably a couple of hours. Now here on TV, we'll bring up coverage about every half hour or so, just so you know something that we're kind of monitoring trends on this first alert night. If there's any kind of tornado or any kind of situation where you need to know immediately, we'll pop on, but we'll try to keep it to about half-hour updates. That being said, if you're on our social platforms, if you're watching via Facebook or on our YouTube channel, our website, this will be continuous coverage. I'll just be going back and forth to different ways to cover the storms. What we do know right now, we have a severe thunderstorm watch. That's in effect until 3 a.m. Gets most of our area. It does include Amarillo, and we have some warnings. That's going to be the golden and the red colors out in New Mexico. Those are either severe thunderstorm or flash flood warnings at this time. We good on audio?
Yes.
Okay, we're just checking some levels there. One of the main issues we've had out there around Tucumcari and San Juan on I-40 is just persistent rain and hail. And it's pretty ugly out that way. I want to show you a little feed we have coming in. Easton Watley's been all over that storm there around San Juan, and it just continues to be just almost continuous lightning out there. He hasn't been in the hail core, but I promise there's plenty of it. Folks in Tucumcari, it's just been relentless, and the storm continues to just kind of sit there and then out to San Juan. A little rotation in there. We don't have tornado warnings at this time. Now notice we have more rain coming in back to the north of Logan and Narragansett. Eventually that's going to sweep down and hopefully absorb those supercells, and that'll take care of some of the rotation. But notice also heavy rain from Amistad and Narragansett right over Highway 54. And animate that. This is all coming slowly southeast. If you're in Dalhart, heavy rain there, that's starting to wind down. It's pushing a little further south to Hartley. Hartley, you're going to catch a heavy squall during the next 30 minutes. Conlon, heavy rain is pushed out, still going to rain moderately. Stratford, Texoma, you're still in the heavy rain. It's now building down to Cactus. You can see a little further down to the southeast, storms around Cactus. In fact, I'm going to punch over to a different radar, and we'll kind of take a closer look at this, that squall line as that builds towards Cactus and Sunray. Embedded little areas in there that there might be some penny, nickel-sized hail. Stratford, same thing, and we can follow that right up to Texoma. These are waterlogged areas. We can get a lot of rain there. Coming into Goodwell now, and if you're in Guyman, Optima, Hardesty, it's going to be coming your way probably within the next 30 minutes. So the further north we go, it seems the intensity is down a little bit. I'll slide it over. We are looking at the Amarillo area. You see here's Channing, Highway 385, getting closer, about to build into Dumas, and it continues to move down to the southeast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to track this for the next couple of hours, and we'll watch and see what the intensities look like. But so far I can tell you that we don't have tornadoes. We do have a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, some wind, and I'll be tracking it for the rest of the evening. So keep it here and follow us on our Facebook and social media. Okay, very good. So now we're back on our social streams now, and this way I can, just comfortably and leisurely track a lot of things here. I'm not limited by time. So what we can do is, just kind of spend a lot of time on radar. You can check in from time to time, see it's about to roll into your hometown. So right now we're focused on some big storms out to the west. Still can't get over that Tucumcari to San Juan. Double dipping some supercells out that way. And you can see they're kind of hooked around and even animated. It looks like they're spinning around a little bit. We don't have real tight rotations or tornadoes, but still in Tucumcari, probably golf ball hail, and there's been reports earlier of up to about 3-inch size hail there. I-40, Tucumcari to San Juan and the state line, it rained there a lot last night. And it's continuing to rain there tonight, so we're going to have to really watch out for water crossing roadways there. I'm going to move forward a little bit here in my program, and hey, this is informal. We're getting ready to see what our next TV time will be. What you got there?
The next time is either 11:20 or 11:56. So I mean, you.
Okay, and it's currently what time?
Currently 11:05.
Okay, well we'll pop on at 11:20.
11:20.
So for our TV audience, if you want to see a TV bulletin, we're going to do one about 11:20 or so. Okay, backing up, here's kind of a estimate on our rainfall tonight. So we got the storms up there, that line. Let's see timing on that. If it continues its trend, we're looking at Amarillo. You know, this says about 2 a.m. We might beat that a little bit. So for Amarillo Canyon, Borger, those areas, let's say, you know, somewhere around maybe 1 p.m., 1 a.m. that is. Now, we got to talk about tomorrow a little bit. I know we have our hands full for the next few hours, and I'll be back to look at some of that. But this is tomorrow. Can you believe we're going to load up and do it again? This is an incredibly active weather pattern, and this has been the routine. We enjoy beautiful daytime conditions, partly cloudy, temperatures up in the 70s, just wonderful spring weather. But in the process, we pump moisture in the atmosphere, we get daytime heating, and it's been night after night of storms rolling in from the west. So we're going to be back in a first alert situation tomorrow. In fact, you might even argue that conditions are more favorable for severe weather tomorrow evening. So just put that in your bullet, your calendar for tomorrow, your planner. By late tomorrow, we're going to need to watch for more storms. Here's one model one that kind of shows exactly that. Storms coming in from the west sometimes. And not only that, but we think the next several days we have chances for storms. First alert tomorrow, first alert Saturday. Whether or not we need to continue that on into the early part of next week, we'll just have to let you know. I'm going to back it up here a little bit. Okay. And get to current radar. So we really have a couple of sectors there. There's kind of the north, and then we have the south. So right now, Tucumcari to San Juan is where we're seeing some of the heavier activity. And we do have our intercept crews out. We haven't been watching tornadoes, but it's been fun to watch the feed coming from Easton, Watley. Just the lightning has been prolific out there around San Juan and Tucumcari. And with the lightning flashes, sometimes we see the real curved edge of that supercell, but not a tornado. I just kind of feel sorry for unknowing travelers that needed to be on I-40 tonight. Think about that, driving into this stuff when you don't know what these storms are harboring. So here's a close-up look. Again, you can see Tucumcari and San Juan. That is a nasty hail core. And if you'll bear with me, I'm going to get some of the latest information. Okay, we've got a flood advisory out there. Earlier, this storm had like 2 to 3 inch size hail when it was north of Tucumcari. It's really the second big storm that has affected Tucumcari. So, the rainfall out there is just tremendous. I'm sure we're getting some places out there with a few inches of rain, slow-moving storm, and then the hail. Folks in Tucumcari, I know how unnerving that hail can be. It's just unnerving. It's loud. You hear things break. You hear stuff slamming into your house, and I'm sure we're seeing a lot of that around Tucumcari. Just nothing you can do except ride it out, and also be thankful that we don't have tornadoes there to make matters even worse. Tell you what, I'm gonna Nuvi, will you do me a favor and message Easton, and let's have him focus a little bit. Okay, just say, Easton, please focus, and I'll show you why. The storm that we're looking at there around San Juan, we've had good eyes on that with Easton, but he's repositioning a little bit and needs to focus his camera there. So not sure he can hear me or not, but we're sending him a message out there. Again, the lightning is just, wow, it's almost continuous. I mean, it just does not stop. So that is one loud storm there. Okay, looks like we're getting a little better focus on that. Thank you, Easton. We're going to continue to watch that. Very good. So we got some good pictures there. And again, if you're following us or popping in from time to time, it's a night that we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. I'll come back and show you where that is for a good chunk of the area. That means conditions are really, really favorable for hail-producing storms and for straight line wind. Doesn't mean we can't get tornadoes. It just usually means that we're lacking some upper-level wind. We have to have winds that turn with height and get stronger with height. We don't really have that tonight. Sometimes we can have just enough of a setup to have a rotating storm, but it's not a real tight rotation like we see when we have tornadoes. And that's what we've been watching out there in Quay County. Earlier we had a brief tornado warning. I was up in Union County, but nothing confirmed. It's not quite as set up for rotation like we had last night. Last night we had a couple of actual touchdowns, and not too far from where we're tracking storms now. It's kind of up around Broadview and Grady in Curry County. So back to our severe thunderstorm watch. This is going a little bit later tonight. These storms took longer to get going, so that means they originated at about the same place, but just took longer to get going. So the result of that is it takes longer for them to move through our area. So this severe thunderstorm watch goes until 3 a.m. We have some warnings. That's mainly Clay County down there where we have those supercells. The gold boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly for hail. But then also underneath there, you see the red concurrently, same location, we have a flash flood watch, a flash flood warning, I'm sorry. And we've experienced why. I mean, it rained there last night. Slow moving storms are still there, just dumping rain and hail. And I'm very confident that we're going to hear about some roads and streets that are underwater. But for the time being, man, we check out Tucumcari and San Juan. Let's take a look at this on this radar. I mean, this is impressive right here. All that purple you see around Tucumcari. Golf ball plus is going to be pretty likely in there and not moving very rapidly. In fact, I think I got some reports coming over at the time. Okay, okay. Hail quarter size, hail golf ball. All right, golf ball hail confirmed in and around Tucumcari and slow moving. So there's been some spots there that probably got into the hail, and it hailed for 15, 20, and maybe half an hour. I mean, it could still be ongoing right now, especially where I've drawn in around Tucumcari. So I'm afraid we've had a damaging or destructive hailstorm, or I say we've had, it's in progress right now, slowly creeping off to the east, but I know you folks in Tucumcari can't get rid of that one fast enough. And again, let me draw I-40 there, my goodness. That is that wet, just stormy ride all the way to San Juan. Now, for San Juan, we can see that the hail has kind of dropped south and weakened a little bit. And this was one of our stronger rotations we had. I'll flip that over to what we call the velocity. We'll take a look at the wind field in these guys. Okay, and we look for that red versus green. For the radar, red means we're going away from the radar, green means we're coming back, and that just kind of indicates where we have a circulation. And we see somewhat of what we call a couplet in there. It's just not very tight. So again, it's not something that we think, even though there's a little rotation in there, that's not unusual when we have a supercell storm. I mean, we have rotating updrafts, but whether or not they really tighten up to a real small, intense rotation that triggers a tornado is a whole nother ball game, and that's not what we're seeing tonight. Okay, Tucumcari, latest scan for you guys. Looks like the hail trying to just exit down to the south. Maybe another 10, 15 minutes we'll have that out of there. But I bet when we check our news reports tomorrow, we're going to hear about broken windows and cars beat up, skylights out, some roof damage. And slow as that was moving, there's probably accumulations on roadways there. So that's just how it goes. All right, going to back it out a little bit, and we'll take it some other storms. Plenty of rain up to the north there. This is kind of that northern kind of continuous squall line instead of those individual supercells. This is a really good squall, and it's coming in, about to get into Guyman. In fact, tell you what, let's do here. I'm going to take a look at some tower cams while we're on here. And there we go. See what we got up there at Guyman. Okay, so here comes storm coming into Guyman. There's our light. Ooh, there's our lowered base. That's the leading edge. Again, I think this, for Guyman, it's going to bring in a lot of heavy rain, some lightning, maybe some small hail. But what I'm liking about there we go, there's the shelf on the leading edge. What I'm liking about the Guyman sector of that storm is that the intensity is down. So instead of the individual supercells, we got a lot of competition for moisture and energy, and we get more of a squall line. So I'll draw that in right in here, this continuous squall down about Cactus and Hartley, back edge around Dalhart. That's moderate rain continuing around Dalhart. Stratford's still getting some rain. But that leading edge squall is not an area real conducive to rotations or tornadoes. Notice how we don't see those hooks. We don't see the hooks, and if I flip this over to velocity and look at the wind, you know, you're not going to see the red versus green. Sometimes we have straight line winds in there, but we're not seeing the rotation. So good news up there. That's really just solid rain, but lightning. But like we've seen, places that have received, you know, just copious amounts of rain as of late, and there were some places last night that we'll have to watch out for some saturation issues. Okay, I'm going to bring us down closer to Cactus and Sunray. Here we go. All right, we see a little more intensity right in there. So Cactus to Sunray is someplace that we might see probably sub-severe hail. For a storm to be severe because of hail, it's the size of quarters, 1 inch. So if we have nickel size hail or dime size hail, it's, you know, it gets your attention and it's significant, but it's not a severe storm. So let me look at the latest reports here, see if anything's going on. Okay. No, so actually the severe thunderstorm warning up in that area is going to be allowed to expire. So good news, you're going to get copious amounts of rain there, torrential for Cactus, coming into Dumas and Sunray. Those areas are really going to get a lot of rain. Hartley, a lot of rain there. It's about to get on into Channing, and I know a lot of our Amarillo viewers are going to be watching too because we have a severe thunderstorm watch. People know it's coming, and you just don't know how strong it's going to be. So here's Amarillo. Again, nothing really imminent at this time, but it won't take long for that to build on down here. So the edge of the rain now, okay, getting close to, say, the Moore County line, just outside of Channing. Probably picking that up around, let's see, yeah, Channing, the Canadian River, Boys Ranch, and then out north of Adrian. So, you know, it'll be coming our way, but it's still going to take a while. I'm going to say probably an hour or so to get on down to Amarillo. So no immediate threat there. All right, let's back it up. Got another heavy core there coming into the northern part of Quay County, and then our supercells there. I mean, you can really see the difference, can't you, between that squall line and then these two guys. It's what we call discrete, or, you know, kind of standing by themselves out ahead of that line and rotating, just not tight enough to give us that tornado. Okay, you might hear that we're going to do a TV bulletin in about 2 minutes, so you'll be able to see that. But while we wait on that, I'm going to come in a little closer, let you know we're watching these very carefully, and let's get the latest Easton Watley out there on that San Juan supercell. Again, the lightning is just blowing me away. I mean, it just never stops there. You know, we're getting you know, hundreds or even thousands of lightning flashes out there with our San Juan and Tucumcari storm. Okay, very good. I'm going to come back now and kind of gear up, kind of get set up for my TV bulletin and run through this here real quick. So bear with me. I got a million buttons to press here. Okay, looking good here, looking good. Okay, actually I need to, what I'm going to do, if you give me just a moment, I'm going to pop over to my weather computer. 1 minute, okay. And I just got to set up a little sector here. There we go. Right there, and then, actually, let's get that to animate. Okay, I know we're getting close. Current there. Okay, it's all looking good. Take that out, take that out. What was up with that? Okay, well, guess I better get going here, hadn't I? Yeah, we're ready. Hey friends, Doppler Dave here, just kind of a routine half-hour cut-in, let you know what's happening with storms. It's the first alert night, as we've been doing every night here for the last several. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for a good part of the area, including Amarillo, set to go until 3 a.m. We haven't had recent tornado warnings. That's not really expected. We do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings and some flash flood warnings. Those are mainly out in New Mexico, and it's Quay County that's been ground zero. Tucumcari over to San Juan. We'll look at that in detail coming up on radar. In fact, let's start off. We're going to go up to the north where we have more of a continuous line of storms, and it's active around Guymon, Goodwell, Texoma. It's come through Stratford, so now we're building out closer to Cactus. Coming out of Dalhart and Hartley, there's lots and lots of rain there. Small hail, but not severe, and that's about to move into Channing. Dumas, you're just now getting it. You're going to have it for a while. Kind of moving southeast, won't take long for that to build towards Groover, Spearman, and then in time we'll build it down to Stinnett, Lake Meredith, Fritch, and Borger, and then also, not too far from Amarillo. Here we see Amarillo not too far out there, probably an hour and a half or so, and we'll just have to watch the intensity as it approaches. It's not a night that's really favorable for tornadoes, but a severe thunderstorm warning would not surprise me at all. So you really need to have your News Channel 10 phone app fired up and ready. NOAA weather alert radios, they'll go off if there's a warning, and if you need to get to bed, you'll be awakened from that. Here's a look. In fact, tell you what I'm going to do. Show you a different sector on the radar. Out here to the west, once we get to New Mexico, the intensity goes up. We have discrete supercell storms out here. Actually have about 3 of them, and these are stronger. And they've been really giving us some problems around Tucumcari and San Juan. Good news finally for our friends in Tucumcari is that the hail has pushed out. We've had some relentless hail, a golf ball and even bigger out of that storm, but that has really been pounding Tucumcari, pounding San Juan. So the hail cores now have pushed south of I-40. So this is good. That's good for Tucumcari. You guys start to clean up after a devastating storm there. Now we're really concerned about flood potential out that way because these slow-moving storms have been dropping torrential and copious amounts of rain, and that's going to continue a little bit longer. So certainly arroyos, drainage areas, low water crossings, those are going to be filled, underpasses, but even maybe some major roads with that much rain in a short amount of time can be overrun with water. If you run into that situation, first of all, I'd advise no travel here tonight, but if you have to get out, just do not drive through areas being covered with water. Okay, one more time. You can see storms continue to march across the area, and we'll be tracking these. 30 minutes on TV. Follow us continuous on our social platforms, Facebook and YouTube. Very good. Okay, that wrapped up a little TV bulletin. Let me take a little personal break here, a little coffee. You can just kind of watch along with me here as we do this a little more informally on social media here, but continuously. So I'll be rambling on and on about storms and going to a lot of different sources. We'll look at radar. We're going to look at some video coming in from intercept crews. We got tower cams and all kinds of stuff we'll do. But I'm going to snack on some chips and drink a little coffee here. I've been at it a while, so I'm kind of kicking back a little bit also and needing some refreshments in here. Tell you what would be helpful, Nubia.
Hi.
We got First Alert team. Nubia does our Telemundo weather, so she's keeping our Spanish-speaking friends apprised tonight. How about we get our Facebook page up, and you can help me with comments and questions.
Yes, for sure.
We can answer some of those. So, if you're watching along on Facebook, and you have a report, one of our towns out there, let us know what's happening. Or if you have a question about something, we can let you know what's happening there. One thing I want to do real quick, the storms around Tucumcari and San Juan, we've been watching some really neat and fascinating live video, and here we have it again. Easton Watley, one of our storm interceptors, OU bound, So we're proud of him. He's going to be a meteorologist. But anyway, he's been out there parked near that supercell on I-40 and kind of keeping up with it. It is slipping down south towards Grady. If you've been watching that on radar, Easton. But one thing that really impresses us about this storm is just the relentless nature of that lightning. And sometimes when we look at weather reports, it's like, okay, we're seeing occasional lightning, but when we see a storm like this is like almost non-stop lightning. It's just crazy. Now, the positive side of that is that it lights things up and we get a little more visibility. You know, sometimes the only way we can pick out wall clouds or rotating updrafts is we've got to have some light in there. And certainly if we had tornadoes, you know, we'd need that. But that's not the case. We're primarily just watching it flash around there. But it's kind of cool to see that much lightning. Just think about the continuous rumble of thunder there. So it's been a noisy storm there, San Juan, Tucumcari, those areas. Just wanted to share that. And also, while we're at it, I'm going to get caught up with Guyman. Our friends in Guyman, here's a live shot for you guys. Oh, coming on in now. Excuse me, that's the leading edge, what we call the shelf cloud of a approaching squall. And if you're in Guyman, you're not getting the rotating storm, but you're going to have a lot of lightning. You're going to have some rain, and we might get a little puff of wind with that squall coming on in, and that could get a little bit strong. But so far, there's a good shot of that ragged storm coming in. We're not seeing funnels, and this is not a rotating storm coming into the Guyman area. So coming on back now, I'll get back to our radar, see what's happening. And you know, if you're just joining us or you're popping in from time to time, what we have up to the north there, and this is what we just looked at from Guyman.
Somebody asked about some hail for Sunray.
For Sunray, okay,
Yes.
sure. Well, let's get to that, shall we? Kind of zoom in a little bit. So yeah, that's we certainly have a strong part of the line coming into Sunray. So we're talking about right here. So that's come out of Cactus, and you know, really for Sunray, I'm not too concerned about large hail. Probably going to be some little stuff with that squall, and little I mean pea size, marble size, maybe dime size. I don't think it's going to be damaging hail. The really more concern to me at Sunray is when we get this shape right there. That's called a bow echo, and the reason it's bowing out is because the wind is getting strong behind it, and it's pushing that line out into a bow. Now, I've seen worse, but it might be getting a little gusty there around Sunray. So we'll continue to watch that and see how that's going. The heavy squall, and there might be some nickel size hail east of Stratford. That's pushing away from Stratford. That's moving towards Groover now, and we'll watch that. And also might be developing a little bit of a bow right in there. So little pockets of maybe some blustery weather, winds 40 or even 50 or something like that are going to be possible on the line. And yes, I think the most favorite area for some of that wind right there is going to be from Sunray down to Dumas. So thank you for your question there about Sunray. It's going to be loud. It's going to be wet and noisy and probably windy, but we don't have a warning out there for Sunray. Dumas, you're in the middle of it now, really starting to soak it up. In Hartley, man, Hartley to Dalhart, this is just moderate to heavy fill-in rain. This is an organized system. We call it a mesoscale. It means just like the size of the Texas Panhandle convective comp. It's just a fancy name we have for an organized round of thunderstorms. Nuvi, you got a question? Or?
Yes, somebody asked about County Palmer
Okay.
County.
Palmer
Some hail.
County. We'll take a look down there here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to spend a little time on this line, this complex, and then we'll go down and we'll look at Palmer County. So Dalhart, Hartley, that's just, man, solid, beautiful, soaking rain, but probably quite a bit of lightning in there. And then the intensity picks up again. Hartley to Channing on Highway 385, back to the New Mexico line to about Narravisa, and not too far from Amistad, place that got hammered earlier. That's some really heavy rain, and probably some nickel-sized hail. So if I move out, you see where that's headed. That's going to come into Oldham County, north of Adrian. One good thing about this is the Canadian River in here. You know, we love Lake Meredith. We love to keep it full. We are doing that. It went up over 69 feet today because of our latest round of rain, and this is just going to swallow up the Canadian River watershed. I can't wait to check levels tomorrow, see what's happening. But within that heavy rain area, there'll be some pockets of maybe small hail. Okay, question about Palmer County. Let's go down and take a look at that. Okay, so that's going to be Friona, Bovina. You know, we are concerned later on if this supercell, the one that's coming south from San Juan, if that holds the intensity and moves down towards Palmer County, we're going to have a hail candidate. Probably not tornado, but these are the only storms that are really rotating right now. So those are the ones that are moving that direction. So Bovina, Farwell, Friona, we'll keep an eye on that. It's just too early to call. What we would love to see, ideally, we're going to see this move down and weaken a little bit, not rotate as much, and just be mainly heavy rain and hail. Question, Nubia?
Yes, somebody asked about Clovis, if again more
Okay.
hail or...
Yeah, well, it was a rough night last night in Clovis. So people, I think, very warranted, are concerned about tonight because it's almost deja vu. This is almost exactly what happened last night. Last night, it was earlier in the night, but we had the rotating storm around Grady and Broadview. Couple of tornado touchdowns there, but it was a rotating supercell, and it was moving from north to south. And you look at the radar right now, and you're going, are we really going to go through that again? Last night at Clovis, plenty of golf ball hail, a lot of damage. There was power outages, strong straight winds blew through there at about 80 to 90. One of my friends was down there intercepting the storm, said there might have been a brief little spin up not too far from Prince Street, trees down. We don't need that to happen again tonight, but I'll just say it is a severe thunderstorm now coming into the northern part of Curry County. And you know, that's where the most likely area for hail in our whole area right now is right there coming through Quay and northern parts of Curry County. So if you're at Grady, if you're at Broadview, you need to hunker down again. It looks like hail is going to be possible. Last night we had windows blown out in Broadview and some hail damage around Grady. And wouldn't that be something to do that 2 nights in a row? And I tell you what, you know, hail's pretty likely unless we can get a weakening trend, because these are both coming down your direction. The good news is we're thankful that we don't have tornadic activity. Nubia, you got somebody else?
Yes, 2 questions. Difficult question. This one.
Okay, it's getting a little bit late. My eyes are getting a little blurry. So let's see what we got. Okay, merging into a bow echo. Okay, I don't know where, but all of it. Okay. People wondering about Fritch, and we'll address both these. One question was, are we going to get a bow echo? And the answer is yes, we already have that. And we should, you know, along this whole line, what we're going to do, we're going to see little shots where the wind is stronger, and what that does is it causes the line, the storms, to bow out a little bit. So I'm kind of drawing in where that's already happening. The question becomes, so how strong does that get? Because sometimes with these bows, we can get strong, damaging straight line winds. Not a tornado, but who cares, right? If it's a tornado or if it's a straight line blast, if it's doing damage, it's doing damage. So, you know, we're watching for that. I'm not really seeing areas that I see really, really intense wind. But we will have some bows in there. And by the way, if you're in Amarillo, getting a little closer. So now we're well south of Dumas. We're about to the Potter County line there on 287. We are down to the river, so that's going to be Boys Ranch, Valle de Oro. The rain is starting to get in there. And of course, the first thing you'll see is you're going to see this squall. In fact, we might be able to pick that up from Amarillo and Bushland. So let me go to some tower cams here. Actually, let me show you. Well, we might need to move them around, so I'm going to do this. We hit an escape over there. Yeah, let's see. Okay, that's right, that's right. So I'm going to adjust some tower cameras right now, get the right mouse. Okay, so that's, okay, here's Amarillo, and we're looking back. Okay, we're looking the right way, it's just not close enough yet. And I think Bushland, okay. I'm going to swing Bushland around to the northwest. There's a tower in the way. Okay, when we start to get lightning, we're going to start to see this shelf, this ragged, ugly-looking shelf that's coming. There it is, right there. Okay, and really that's just, it's a real common feature with a line of storms. And it's ragged, and ugly looking, and there's thunder and lightning, and people go, what is that? What's the low-hanging stuff? I promise you, when people look at these shelves coming in and there's little ragged clouds and lightning flashes behind them, somebody's going to think they see a funnel, okay? It happens every time. But I am here to tell you there's no rotating storm approaching the metro area or Amarillo and Bushland or even the Lake Meredith area. But there will be plenty of rain, some wind, and a lot of lightning. So anyway, for Amarillo, we're going to start to see that approaching pretty quickly. And I think our rain now is probably about a half an hour away. Good news for Amarillo is that we're not in line for rotating supercells right now. You know, in my career, I've seen crazy things happen before. I've seen lines that look like a line. They break up, and suddenly you do have discrete, you know, supercells. That can happen. I've also seen squalls go through, and behind it, you get some rotating updrafts. You know. So I'm not here to say it will not happen. I don't think it will. It doesn't look like a night that's going to happen. But what a complex, man. And think about this. One of our main concerns now is going to be flooding. Personally, since April 1st, I'm coming up on 8 inches of rain. 2 or 3 just within the last several days. So we're going to have to watch out, if nothing else, for street flooding and underpasses filling up, that sort of thing. Nubia, what do you got?
What about Gray County?
Gray County, okay, sure. As you might expect, everybody's wondering what's going to come to their hometown. So Gray County is out here. That's going to be Pampa, LaForce, White Deer, these areas. You know, you got a pretty good chunk of that line coming at you. So, you know, worst case scenario is we get some damaging straight line winds. But really what I think we're going to do is we're going to have some good moderate to strong storms come in, kick up a lot of rain, maybe some brief wind, a lot of lightning, and then we just soak up a lot of heavy rain. So I can tell you that it's very unlikely that we would have any kind of tornadic activity approaching you know, Gray County or anywhere on Highway 60 or anywhere in the central Panhandle, including Amarillo for that point. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to come back to Amarillo, and we might move this camera a little bit because, yeah. Okay, I'm kind of looking to the north. I want to look north on Amarillo. So let me pan this around here a little bit. We'll go faster than that. Already seeing the dark clouds come into the city as expected. So I think if we watch this area, we see some pretty good motion in the clouds right there. So again, city lights are lighting those up from underneath, and just, you know, it's kind of ominous looking. And of course, on a night like tonight where we've had, you know, a lot of warnings and even had a tornado warning earlier, you know, people get scared, if you will, or certainly alarmed. 56, yeah, we're going to do a TV cut in coming up 56.
A little over 15 minutes.
15 minutes now, okay. But what we're doing you know, informally and continuously is staying on our other platforms. And the reason we do this is, you know, not everybody's watching TV, or not everybody even has a TV anymore. But you can watch on your phone, you can be on YouTube, you can be on Facebook, and we're just on all the time. And when we do a TV cut in, you'll get to see that. But if you're at home, we're coming on TV about every 30 minutes. So we try to keep everybody covered. And you know, it's kind of driven by the intensity of the moment. If you've watched us recently, you know, last week we had tornado warnings near Amarillo, and we were on TV continuously. But on a situation like tonight, where we don't have tornadoes on the ground all the time or tornado warnings ongoing, you know, we don't really need to be on TV forever. But we can provide information to where you can be going about your business no matter where you are, pop in every now and then, and see what's going on. So we really love to do this. We can keep everybody posted. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll just send it out in the field, and we'll listen to our storm chasers, see what they're doing. As far as tonight, what we've been watching is some of our intercept teams. Easton Watley, for sure. He's been out there watching the supercells in New Mexico. Fortunately, no tornadoes there, but man, lightning out that way. So thank you, Easton, for doing that. We'll come back. In fact, I'm going to go down to that area where Easton is positioned. Those two guys right there, just north of Grady now. Fortunately, they've picked up a little bit of speed, and they've gotten out of Tucumcari. you guys deserve a break. San Juan, you're still getting rain, but the hail and the rotation is south of you. So I'm really glad to see this. I-40 is not clear though yet. We still have plenty of rain there, and these storms are leaving behind a lot of water and a lot of hail. Now, what we have to point out here is these are building down towards Grady and down towards Broadview, places that just got hammered last night with destructive hailstorms. We did have a couple tornadoes there out in open country, but this is an area, man, that just got beat up yesterday, and it's just not fair, really, that same thing is happening tonight. This is kind of hard to believe, just back-to-back nights with intense supercells coming that way. And while you look at that, I'm going to pop over and look at, see what some of the latest info. Severe thunderstorm warning for hail, $50 there. We've also had reports of 3.71 inches of rain not too far from Tucumcari. So that's, you know, just kind of corroborates what I've been saying in this area here. Let's think about that. Almost 4 inches of rain, and I'll draw in, you know, this area right here, 3 to 4 inches of rain there. And you know, $50 to larger size hail. That's just that's a beat down right there. But good news again, that's now cleared Tucumcari. We just have to wait for things to drain away. Concern now goes for the northern part of Curry County. So Grady and Broadview, I just have to tell you that I expect severe weather for you, starting within a half hour, probably lasting an hour or more. Hopefully we get these guys to speed up a little bit and get out of there more quickly. And I'm going to check the wind velocity in there. And some good news. You know, we're finding a couple of rotating areas. So he'd have one north of Grady, one south of Tucumcari, right in here. Those are rotating areas, but if you've been watching for long, I've been talking about that broad rotation, not the real tight, you know, spin-up type rotations there. So good news. And the bad news is that rotating updrafts are the ones that support hail long enough to let it get big and destructive before it falls. So that's definitely in play here tonight. So looking at San Juan and Grady, Curry County, northern Curry County, southern Quay County, it's rough there. So folks need to be sheltered up, and I'll pass along information. Do we have a question or a comment? Maybe?
No question, just many people says, thank you, Dave. Thank you for the update. I feel safe, and yes.
All right.
You.
Well, we appreciate people just kind of chiming in and appreciating our coverage. You know, we've always taken this very seriously because I've been on the other end of this. I've been at home and visiting another city, and storms are brewing and it's getting crazy, and you got to know what's happening. You know, is it dangerous? Do we have something deadly coming our way? Are we at risk? What is going on? So we know people depend on us. I mean, you can look out the window. That doesn't do much for you. You can have your own radar and see things, but you know, we got a lot of experience with different storm types and structures and movement, and what different storms do. Plus, we got a lot of info coming in here with our partnership with the National Weather Service and our own intercept teams out there with, you know, our own cameras and eyes. We get to verify what's going on. So I understand completely the need for good information. So that's why we try to do the best job we can to give you information. And what I like about this forum here on our social media is that we get a little feedback. You get to ask questions if you need to. You can give us reports, so that helps us know exactly what's going on. And we just keep everybody informed and happy, but you help us out at the same time. Okay, let's see. What we haven't done here recently is go back through some of our advisories for people that, you know, might have just got in. We don't have any tornadoes. That red stuff you see in New Mexico, those are flash flood warnings. The gold, that's severe thunderstorm warnings. So again, Quay, we've kind of shifted that down into Curry County like we thought we might. Northern part, that's a ton of rain, but it's below severe intensity. Excellent news. It's just really a slow soaker. I think at most we're going to look at some flooding just because we keep getting rain every night. And you can see now coming into Guyman, we'll check that camera here coming up. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that now. Getting closer to Amarillo, I'll check a camera there too. So Guyman, if you're up there, this is what you're seeing. Our camera kind of pointed into the storm. You're starting to see rain on the lens there, but not hail. That's good. So raining in Guyman, pretty frequent lightning. Not like the supercell. Can you see the difference? When we've been showing that supercell down there now approaching Grady, the lightning doesn't stop. But up in the northern part of the line, the lightning is a lot less frequent. There's one, you know, but not all the time. I got to show you the comparison now. Let's go to our supercell and watch this. I mean, it's just very, very frequent. And wow, this is a rotating updraft. If you watch carefully, this is what Easton Watley is feeding us here. We get enough lightning that we can actually see this. See the edges of that updraft? They're very smooth. Yeah, they're smooth and they're rounded. So, you know, we talk about that broad rotation. That whole storm updraft is rotating, but we haven't had the real tight tornadoes. But with all that lightning, man, you can see that. And be sure to watch tomorrow because we recorded some of this, and I'm going to find some real snapshots in there, some still images, and we'll look at that storm structure. Beautiful. I mean, it looks like it's textbook supercell kind of stuff. It looks kind of like a bell out on the edges of it where the inflow is real smooth and laminar, and then we get into that rotating updraft. Classic stuff right there. That is really, really good. Easton's been doing a really good job of watching that for us. Okay, what was I doing? We're looking at tower cams and Guyman. Right there, we got that shelf in town now. It's raining and we got the lightning. Now let's take a look at downtown Amarillo. And that shelf getting closer. I really think it's going to look pretty neat here in just a little while. I've got Bushland looking up that way also. Kind of bright there at Bushland. But here in time, you can see some of the lightning in the distance. Probably now going to see some, rain coming into Bushland. I'd say now 15, 20 minutes. About the same for Amarillo. I don't expect tornadoes in Amarillo. Get that out there. And really, I think we might be coming in at just the right time that we're not really worried about severe weather. What I do think we're going to see for Amarillo is soaking rain. And man, I can't believe it. I've dumped rain out of my rain gauge almost every day for a week. If you watch us, we got that rain gauge showdown. Everybody getting a lot of rainfall. And I promise the other guys are about ready to get more than I've been getting. So really overall, if you look at the radar here, good news. Most of that I'll draw. This complex of storms, most of this is below severe intensity, but look at all that rain. These guys, and right off the bat, if nothing else, you see the purple color in there. We got 3 supercells. These are the ones that are severe. The rotating updrafts, no tornadoes, but the strong, standalone, long-lasting rotating updrafts. These are the ones that produce severe weather. Supercells usually do. It's unusual to get a supercell that doesn't produce some kind of tornado, some kind of severe weather, not necessarily a tornado. So I'm gonna kind of zero in close up. Quay County's just really been under the gun here lately. Still seeing a little more speed. That's good. Storm starting to pick up a little bit in speed, pushing south now from Tucumcari. For a long time, it just sat over the city. If you live out there, you know. I'm afraid we've had a damaging hailstorm there. And San Juan also is right there. Storms pushed south of there. This is the one that's still showing some rotation, and we still see that hook shape in there. And as I go to the wind velocity, I imagine we're going to see some signs. Well, okay, if you watch right here, there's red versus green. Not so much there. I see a little bit there south of San Juan. But just no concern really for tornadoes on the ground. But those are those rotating updrafts supporting all that hail. relentless rain, and we've had reports of 3 to 4 inches not too far from Tucumcari, around I-40 to almost the state line. So if we're getting that much rainfall and the arroyos are already waterlogged, flooding is going to happen somewhere out there. Now, where's it going? Okay, let me move our image here a little bit. Just enough that we can see Grady and Clovis. Okay. Again, slow motion, but coming on into Grady, northern part there of Curry County, severe thunderstorm warning in effect at this time. What do we got, Nubian?
Just some comments about Sunray,
Okay.
like a lot of rain, lightning.
Okay, good. So we're getting some of those reports we asked for. If you're in Sunray, you're just getting that hard torrential rainfall, some wind, not hearing much on hail. Okay. All right, people are asking where it's going, so we'll come back and revisit these supercells, of course. That's where the severe weather is. And again, if, we don't know what you're doing or how you're getting your information. If you're coming to us every now and then and you haven't heard, we're tracking severe thunderstorms down to Grady and Broadview north of Clovis, but they're slowly moving south, and we're definitely going to have to watch that within, say, an hour or two for Clovis after a destructive night last night. Our hope and our prayers is that we get some weakening before it gets down there. We're not seeing that yet. I mean, those are really strong, severe storms, and they're holding their own. Okay, also, we're about 4 minutes away from a TV cut-in, so I'm gearing up for that. All right, here's Amarillo. Oh, let's see. I wanted to visit Sunray. And, okay, I'm hearing the wind pick up in Amarillo, so we're getting our outflow. That's going to be the leading edge. So Sunray, you've been through that now. You've had most of that wind. That's going to now push out to Morse, Pringle, Stinnett, up to around Groover. These will be the areas that catch some pretty good straight line winds. I'll include the lake. Fritch, Sanford, Bugby, Borger, Lake Meredith. About to get some wind, but I'm going to say probably something like 40 to 50 miles per hour, and I'm going to look for a report here. Okay, yeah, Dumas got 47 mile-an-hour winds when it came in. So, to be severe, thunderstorm winds have to be 58 miles per hour or higher. So we're staying below that. It's going to rattle your house a little bit and get your attention, but no tornadoes, and we're really kind of keeping that below severe intensity. So for Amarillo, let me put a little wind velocity on this. Okay, nothing too alarming, but notice this green. That means that air is coming towards the radar at a pretty good clip. I mean, probably something like 40 miles per hour. But it's, certainly not anything that would, really give us a lot of damage, and it's not associated with a tornado or anything like that. But our rain is getting closer. Let's go ahead and check out some tower cams here. Coming up on Amarillo. Okay, so we're looking kind of northwest from downtown. And remember, if you compare that to the supercells, we're not seeing continuous lightning. I just saw one flash there over the Globe News Center. That's going to be coming into the city. I promise you lightning. I can promise rain. And once the rain starts, it's going to last for a while too. It looks so. I think another generous rain coming for Amarillo. Let's see what we got going on at Bushland now. Probably sprinkling out there. Rain about to get on over towards I-40. We should start to see a pickup in the lightning also from Bushland. Saw one there. Let's check on Guyman real quick. Guyman getting off, unscathed really as far as severe weather. Rain, lightning, but nothing too bad. Okay, and downtown, I'll leave it there so I can come back to that. And we're gearing up for a TV cut-in, so I'll get back to my official News Channel 10 graphics here on this first alert night. Remember what first alert means, and people, I mean, we are racking up the first alert days, aren't we? Since, let's see, since last Thursday, I can think of Thursday. We're on about our 5th first alert night, and first alert just means there's going to be some damaging or dangerous storms. We don't just, if it was nothing but rain and lightning and thunder, we wouldn't do first alert. But when we have, you know, golf ball, tennis ball size hail and rotating storms and flooding and straight winds going up over severe levels, that's when we're going to be in a first alert situation. So about to come up on a TV bulletin for our TV audience. I'll do that, and then I'll stay on continuously here. So stand by for that. That's coming up here shortly. Better wet my whistle before we do that. You can probably hear my director there giving me cues, so about 5 seconds away now.
3, 2, 1.
Hey friends, Doppler Dave here. We're just doing a routine update to keep you posted on what the storms are doing. They're getting really close to Amarillo. However, the activity that's approaching Amarillo right now, below severe intensity. And really, our severe thunderstorm watch will continue for much of the area until 3 a.m. At that time, it'll see if we need to go longer. The only severe weather we have right now is in New Mexico, Quay and Curry counties. The yellow or orange boxes, severe thunderstorms. That's mainly for hail. But we also have the red areas, flash flood warnings. The amount of water coming out of the storms, really the last couple days, incredible. But tonight's round has already left 3 to 4 inches of rain, and maybe even higher in some places. Up to the north, now this is where it's not severe. We start that around Guyman, coming into Groover, approaching Spearman. This is dumping a lot of rain at Stratford, Conlin, Dalhart, Hartley, Cactus. Dumas has had some rain, and also winds about 47 miles an hour. So we're packing some wind in there, but not really destructive winds. If you notice the motion, within the next 20 minutes, we're going to bring all that down into Fritch and Stinnett. We'll blow that across Lake Meredith. That'll be moving towards Borger, and it won't take long to move into, say, Spearman either. Dalhart to Hartley down to Channing. Now Boys Ranch and Valley de Oro picking up some very heavy rainfall. I'll bring it down to the south a little bit, and you can see that that's not too far away from Amarillo. It'll be down to I-40, Amarillo to Bushland, Wildorado, Vega, and Adrian. We'll start catching all that now within 15 to 20 minutes. Once it hits, we'll get a quick blast of wind, maybe 40 to 50 miles per hour. That'll be brief, and then we're just going to fill it in with solid rain, a lot of lightning and thunder, but we don't anticipate tornadoes. We don't anticipate large hail. We might mix in some small stuff. I don't think it'll be damaging hail. The severe weather continues really to be in our supercell storms that are down in northern parts of, say, Curry County. We've pretty much got it out of Tucumcari, out of San Juan, raining there, but the hail is down to the south. Now that's pushing down towards Grady. Folks in Grady, be ready for hail. We'll keep you posted. And be sure to join us on our social media, on our YouTube and our Facebook. We'll be back here on TV a little later. Okay, so that brings us off of TV now and back onto this continuous feed of information we have going on our social platforms where you are right now. I'm going to just take just a minor little break here and snack and wet my whistle just a little bit. It's not a true severe weather night unless I've hit the peanut butter and the coffee a little bit. So, and before you ask, yes, it's crunchy.
Any hail for Perryton?
Okay, folks are asking about hail in Perryton. Let me take you up there.
As well as Hereford.
Okay, and Hereford. I imagine we'll hear from just about all of our towns before we're done. Perryton, I'm going to say no. Let's get you caught up where the storm is. We're pretty much over to Groover now, right there. This will be coming your way. The northern end of this complex is a little less intense. Now, I know you've been beaten up by hail this season. In fact, I talked to a insurance adjuster today. Said Perryton's been one of the harder hit cities in the Texas Panhandle. So far this storm season, just a lot of hail damage there. Last night, I need to point this out also, I tracked a hail and torrential rainstorm between Perryton and Wolf Creek that sat there for hours. We probably had 4 inches plus and a ton of hail there. So really my main concern is this going to blow in there with another layer of water, and we're going to look for a flooding situation in Ochiltree County. You know, in fact, that's I bet we at least get a flood advisory from the National Weather Service and maybe a full-fledged flash flood warning. Depends on how heavy the rain is and how long it stays. But to answer the question that we got, hail for Perryton, probably not, other than small stuff that mixes in with the rain. That's about it. Hereford, I think, was our other question. Hereford, your chance of hail is going to depend on what happens right here. If these storms continue to move down to the south, the southeast, we'll probably keep that to your west. I can't guarantee that right now, so we're going to see what happens there. Sometimes, you know, we could get another supercell updraft on the edge here, and if that comes down, we might be looking at hail. It's just, that's one that's just not clear cut right now, so we're going to have to wait and see. For Amarillo, I think our chance of hail is pretty low. Soaking rain, probably.
Dave, which cut in you want next?
Okay, we're just kind of planning our next TV cut in. I would need a choice somewhere around maybe 12:20 or somewhere.
We got one at 22.
22, okay.
Cool.
That way, yeah, so remember I'm trying to keep our TV audience informed also. So they're used to us coming on occasionally, unless, man, we have a tornado and we're on wall to wall, we call it. That's not going to be the case tonight, but I do think in about 20 minutes we'll be in the rain and the lightning, so people will probably be wondering what's going on. So I tell you what we can do right now is get back to the tower camera. Let's see what it looks like from downtown right now. There we go. Okay, you know, just good dark skies with, I'll say, occasional lightning. That'll pick up, of course, when that squall gets down a little closer. Let's see, Bushland ought to be in the rain now. I bet you we can see some raindrops in Bushland. Okay. It's not heavy rain, but it is raining there. And not a lot of wind either, so that's probably falling straight. I think I do see at least, yep, okay, there's lightning not too far away. And a few drops on that rain there. Haven't checked in on Guyman for a while. I think Guyman things will be getting a little better. It is raining there now, though. See, visibility is down in the rain there at Guyman. No hail, that's good. No hail and the wind is down. I'm going to linger on that for a minute and read some of the latest here. Some of the reports we have coming in. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Here's, we've been talking about the flooding in Tucumcari. 1 to 2 feet of standing water in central Tucumcari. So that's what we expected. Major flash flooding through town. A lot of places have a foot of flowing water, 1 to 2 feet in some parts of Tucumcari. So yeah, let me get back to that here. It's nothing new, it's just verification of what we've been anticipating. The storm that sat over Tucumcari, and I really hate to say this, just back to the northwest of Quay County and Tucumcari, that's another supercell, it's another hail producer, it's another heavy rain producer, and it's building down to the southeast. So, you know, we may be prolonging this, and this could just get worse and worse. Not for tornadoes, but, you know, you've had your share of hail, that's for sure, damaging hail, and flooding rains, and, you know, that could really aggravate the flooding situation. All right, Grady, while I'm here, the rain is starting to get close. We've got 2 hail cores. One is kind of circulating around, heading back up close to San Juan and I-40. Remember, so this is where our circulation is. That's why the hail is going that way. So think about a circulation like this. This hail is coming down the rotating part, you know, towards Grady. So you know, we're going to have to watch the intensity of that, but we could be looking at, I'd say, at least $half size hail if it holds that intensity coming towards Grady. The same place that took damaging hail last night, you know, Grady, Broadview. I know we had windows broken out, just hail damage, and that could be happening again. Okay, back out, and let's do an update here on what's going on across the area as far as our warnings and watches. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect, but not a tornado watch. Conditions are real favorable for these strong updrafts that support hail and the flooding rain, that's for sure. But the rotation is a little weak, at least the elements that we need, the strong winds aloft to crank out those strong and tight rotations. So that's, you know, that's good. But also, since the winds are not very strong, that means the speed of these storms is very slow. So if I come back here and we just look at the big picture, you know, the squall is moving faster because it's getting help by its own wind that's driving the leading edge out ahead. So that's moving a little faster. These guys out here that are just sitting there and spinning, they're not moving much. Our upper level wind flow is pretty weak, so you know, it's kind of like dropping a toy boat in a stream. If the stream is not flowing very rapidly, I mean, the toy boat doesn't move, right? But if you have rapidly flowing water, like our steering flow, well, then the boat moves faster. So our situation here tonight is, you know, the river's not moving very fast. The steering flow is pretty weak. Can't help but notice there also, this last frame, this is new development of thunderstorm activity back behind this big old complex. So there's going to be some places that soak up all this rain and then get more rain coming in behind that. So our flood potential continues to look pretty high, but the strongest storms we have at the moment are the ones now coming down, well, still pretty close to I-40 in Quay County. San Juan's still picking up some heavy rain, and these hail cores, one approaching Grady and one kind of staying up there just to the south of I-40. Tell you what I'm doing, I'm going to pop it over to a tower cam for a second and go over to do a little computer work. So let's watch to see what's happening in Amarillo right now. I think you're going to be able to, okay, there's the lead. There comes our lightning coming on in. I need to do a couple things on the computer while you watch that. Eat a few chips too, to be honest with you. Okay, so again, if you're getting awakened by lightning or thunder, just know that here in Amarillo, we're in pretty good shape. We're not looking at severe weather. We are looking at a lot of rain, though. And we've had a lot of rain recently, and that means we may be inundated and get some street flooding. We'll see about that. The heavy rain is just not too far away. Okay. I'm setting up a few images on my computer. I'll be back over there on just a few minutes, but you'll be able to see on that tower cam. Let me get this warning off. What's about to come on into the city. And really the severe weather we have is out in New Mexico right now, but it's kind of rough out there tonight. 2 nights in a row that we can say that. Okay, backing that out a little bit. All right, while I'm on this, set up an image. Nubia, while we're at it here, do you have any questions or comments from people? Anything new coming in? I'm finding some hail report or some rain reports out in New Mexico that is crazy.
Any hail for Amarillo?
Okay, that's a good question, and answer is no, and nothing, certainly nothing big. I can't rule out, you know, get some pea-sized hail out of the somewhere, but it's not a major threat for us tonight. I think for Amarillo, we're getting off pretty easy. It's mainly just rain. Okay. Talk about tomorrow a little bit. And I'll be back on with you here just a couple of minutes. Getting some things set up that I can show you and have some information for you. Okay. Yeah, so again, to reiterate, for Amarillo, we're not looking at hail. We probably are down around Grady, New Mexico. So that's the storm that I'll be covering a lot. Working a quick snack here. All right. Coming back on here with you. Can I ask a favor? Oh, what do we have?
Sorry. People ask about Clovis.
Oh, Clovis,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'll hit that in just a minute. The good news right now is the storms are not really bearing down on Clovis, but should they hold their track, we may be looking there in about an hour or so. Okay, I was going to ask Nubia, maybe a refill?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so here we go. First alert, and you know, we reserve first alert for the dangerous nights. And we try not to overuse first alert because we want you to know that if we're in a first alert situation, that's when we have the particularly dangerous storms, storms of impact, you know, the damaging hail, the flooding, the tornadoes. So if it's just a kind of a night that we're just seeing rain and thunder and lightning, we don't want to use first alert because we want you to know the difference. So here as of late though, we've had so many nights that we have destructive storms that we're having to stay in first alert mode. I just want you to know that anytime we're in first alert, it means something. I mean, I promise you I would like to wrap up the news, know that I'm about to get some rain and go home and go to sleep, you know, but we can't do that on a night that somebody's going to get hammered by golf ball, tennis ball size hail. We got to stay on to let you know. So it's a first alert night. Thank you, Nubia. Not for tornadoes necessarily, although that is a possibility. What we do have is severe thunderstorms. A thunderstorm is classified severe if it has hail, quarter size or bigger, or straight line winds that get over 58 miles per hour. We do have those conditions tonight, but right now the severe threat is limited to our southwestern part of the area, New Mexico, Quay, and Curry counties. So where we see the gold, that's where we have a severe thunderstorm warning. Southern Quay, northern Curry County, for a storm with a history of, you know, hail about 2 to 3 inches diameter, destructive. Tucumcari took a lot of hail tonight. It's now pushed south of there. So I'll pick that up on radar in a few minutes. Most of this we see to the north is just a good soaker. We don't have hail. We don't have damaging wind, although it gets gusty, and certainly not tornadoes, but a lot of rain. So Guymon to Groover, now coming into Spearman, or about to. Stinnett coming on in. Fritch and Sanford coming on in. Borger knocking on the door. Just good steady rain back to Stratford, Conlin and Dalhart, Hartley, Channing, places just really soaking it up. Come on down a little bit here and we'll take a look at the southwestern part of the area. Actually, okay, thought I had Amarillo in there, but I'll get back to that. Here's our severe stuff. Notice the slow motion, just sitting there, huge rotating complex. We got it out of Tucumcari, most of it out of Sanhone, but it's slowly limping its way down towards Grady. And, you know, you don't want a hailstorm to linger, and that's what's been happening. It's very slow motion. It's been crazy. Here's some rain estimates I got from NextRad, or radar. How about this? There's an estimate. Anywhere you see that purple, that's 4 inches plus. So we have some up around Logan. This is just tonight. I mean, this is not last night. Last night we had a bunch of rain also. So obviously this has prompted a flash flood warning in Tucumcari. A lot of reports of 2 feet of water. 1 to 2 feet of water across roadways, yeah. And then all that hail. So I'm really worried about arroyos and low water crossings and country roads, you know, any low water crossing. We're going to have a lot of water there. Okay, threats tonight. Okay, we're really high for flash flooding, as we just said. Strong winds, that's moderate. Large hail, moderate for most of the storms. I mean, we got those supercells out there, but most of the storms just kind of moderate there. The tornado potential is pretty low. Got to talk about the next few evenings. And back to using first alert. We're going to have more first alert nights, but they're going to be significant. Okay, this is tomorrow. Tomorrow we're back to a slight risk, and I think it'll be probably earlier in the evening, but we'll go back to first alert tomorrow. Just kind of an estimate tomorrow on timing. And let me show you this. Oh, got the wrong one in there, but sometime tomorrow evening we're back at, you know, tracking storms. So we're going to get over to this radar, and I dumped off of Amarillo. Move it back over and see what's happening here close to the city. Here we go. Starting to get some light rain. That's the light green and the yellow. So nothing severe right now. But it's only a matter of time till this heavy stuff out there in Oldham County moves our way. Starting to get some heavy rain now. Approaching Adrian, just to the north of Vega, and then it kind of curves back up to the Canadian River again. And that'll be coming southeast towards Amarillo. So the rain is just steadily going to pick up, it looks like, for the city. But we're not, you know, we're not under the gun for the heavy hail or rotating storms or anything like that. It'll make some noise with thunder and lightning. Okay, back to the north here. I'll catch that line. Okay, so we've been tracking that kind of coming through Guyman. There's more rain on the way. But this really becomes moderate rain, steady but moderate. Dalhart, Stratford, Texoma, Goodwill, places in here all the way down to Sunray, Dumas, Cactus, and Hart. That's just soaking rain. That's the beautiful stuff. There's nothing menacing in there except lightning. The leading edge now of our stronger squall from about Hardesty, Groover starting to get into that, so it's approaching Spearman. Morrison Pringle getting into that now. Stinnett, you're starting to get in that. And it's pretty much arriving at the lake. Sanford, Fritch, Borger, it'll be picking up here pretty soon. Again, it might get a little gusty on that leading edge, but even there, I'm not seeing anything concerning. Thunder and lightning and rain, and it's just great. I wish we had that all across the area. If we did, I'd shut her down and just let us enjoy that. But fact is, and there's another look at Amarillo and how things are getting closer. A pretty solid rain around Four-Way, Boys Ranch, Valley de Oro starting to get some of the heavy rain north of Adrian. By the way, this is all beautiful rain going into the Canadian River here tonight. I think I'm hearing thunder out in Amarillo right now. But once we get down outside of this complex, once we get on the other side of this is where it turns severe. So that takes us out into, again, Quay and Curry counties. So this is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning, only one in our area right now. But hail potential is pretty strong out there. I'm going to check a report here real quick.
Angela says, sounds like starting to rain of Vale and Arden Road.
Okay. Starting a little rain in Amarillo. We expected this. Again, I've got wonderful news for residents of this city or anywhere around Amarillo is that at the present track and everything, we're going to get another round of rain. By the way, I killed my first mosquito today. I don't know. Okay. Now, the rain is awesome, but we have to start anticipating one of the worst mosquito seasons we've ever had. I mean, it's going to be rough. I mean, how can we complain, though, with all the rain? We're getting much, much better in the drought. Lakes are coming up. It's just awesome. Where was I? I kind of digressed on the mosquito thing. I'm talking about, Quay and Curry counties where we have this. You kind of see the rotating, and then we actually have a couple of cells coming together, but they're rotating like this, counterclockwise. That's what supercells like to do. So that's why we can kind of see the different way that the hail is moving. And come in for a little bit closer for Grady. Man, it's just, it's just tormenting you, isn't it? All that lightning and just on the edge of the rain. But the storm is just not moving very rapidly. What would help is if our complex would absorb it and move it on out. But it's just kind of a slow process. So what we see is this continuation of pretty heavy rain on I-40 around San Juan and Bard. The rain ending for the time being at Tucumcari, but man, there's yet another storm there that I have to watch that's going to move on down close to Tucumcari. Okay, tell you what, I got to gear up for another TV cut in, so I got something to do on my computer. I'm going to leave it on this camera for a moment, just like I did a minute ago. Be right back with you, and we're about to do a bulletin for our TV audience. Okay, so it's there. Okay. There we go. All right. Get my 30-second standby for a TV cut in, and then we'll be right on here. All right. Very good.
Seconds to intro.
Hey friends, Doppler Dave here. Just a routine update on what the storms are doing out there. It's the first alert night, and we still have severe weather. But the area of severe weather is shrinking a little bit. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch set to go until 3 a.m. The only warnings we have are not for tornadoes, but we have a severe thunderstorm warning down in Quay and Curry County and a flash flood warning in Quay County in and around Tucumcari primarily. Now, I have to say, a lot of rain on radar. Anywhere north of I-40, it's coming down here. But this is non-severe. A little bit of wind, maybe 40 miles an hour, a lot of lightning, a lot of rain. And we have to watch out for floods, but so far that's just non-severe rain just marching across the northern part of the area. Getting closer to Amarillo, we're starting to see some rain, but the heavy band is now around Fritch, around the Canadian River, down to about Adrian and Vega, coming east-southeast, so we'll get into that soon, but I don't anticipate a lot of severe weather for Amarillo. That's this area right here. That one rotating supercell complex around San Juan and DeGrady. That's where we've had the history of 2 to 3 inch hail, flooding rain, something like 4 inches of rain over towards Tucumcari, and flooding in the streets. 1 to 2 feet of water flowing through parts of Tucumcari, and more rain likely. In fact, it's starting to rain around there again. But our main concern right now would be for that storm slowly dropping south towards Grady, a place that took a lot of rain and a lot of hail last night, Grady to Broadview. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Folks just need to be hunkered down inside and away from windows as we track that through over the next hour or so. And let me back it up again. And for Amarillo, if you're starting to hear thunder and lightning, you wonder what's coming in, I think we'll probably get off easy. May have to watch out eventually for some street flooding with all the rain we've had lately. We're going to inundate that drainage system. Don't forget, you can watch continuous coverage on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be back here on TV a little bit later. Okay, so we're clear off of TV again. Going to continue covering things here on these other platforms, which is great because sometimes, I've seen it before where you catch right at the end of the guy on TV and you go, oh man, I missed it and I got to wait another 30 minutes. Not if you're on YouTube or Facebook. We do this continuous stream of information to keep you posted, and you can kind of check in every now and then. We got any questions or comments coming our way, Nubia? Okay. Don't forget to feel free to give us some reports from your town, what's going on there, and that kind of helps us know what's going on, and we can pass that information on to others as well. Exciting for Amarillo that more rain is coming in, and a lot of that, I mean, it's raining at the lake right now, the level is going up, and all that heavy rain in Oldham County is just going to be dumped into the Canadian River, and that'll end up at Lake Meredith. So make sure you join us tomorrow. We'll have an update on what the lake levels are doing. But man, it's been a long time since we've seen this kind of runoff and boosting that lake level. David, how's it going?
Hi.
What you got?
General time for the next cut-in. It's,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you
Sure.
instead of
Yeah.
sending you what we have because it's going to be a little different.
Okay, so it's 12:26. I'd like to go on another 20 minutes or so.
So around 12:46.
Yeah, just something in that
Okay.
neighborhood.
I'll come down and let you know the exact. Okay.
Very good. Okay, so we're just kind of planning our next TV bulletin for our TV audience. Okay, hey, let's go ahead and see what our tower cameras look like and see what it looks like blowing into Amarillo right now. Hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot there. See some low clouds and dark background, and of course lightning. The lightning will be picking up, I think, pretty soon, at least in its frequency. Going back to our bushland cam, looking up to the north, watching this kind of blow in. Okay, lightning there. Getting kind of hazy there. We have those lights that kind of throw things off there, but pretty good motion on those clouds. Those are going to switch directions, by the way. That wind will shift. Instead of coming out of the east and southeast, it'll start to come out of the north and northwest, I think, pick up a little bit for bushland. So, rain coming on in, a lot of lightning, but if you have not been following us, I've had some pretty good news, and that is that I don't think we're going to see severe weather for Amarillo. Here's ground zero. Still looking at that massive area of rain and hail in New Mexico. And I'll get you the warning on that.
One question.
And we have a question coming in. What do we got?
Is Tucumcari done with the storms
sure.
for tonight?
Okay, got a question. Is Tucumcari finished with rain and storms? I can't tell you how badly I want to say, yeah, it's all over, go to bed. It's not. And I'll show you why. I'll flip over to this other system I have. And okay, so here we go. This is the storm that just left Tucumcari. Flash flooding and a lot of hail. That's moving on out. Okay, now if I move my radar a little bit, can you believe that?
Yes.
Here we go. This is another intense storm pushing down to the southeast. Now, I don't know if the core of that is going to go right across Tucumcari. Hopefully that stays just out to your west. You don't deserve that. But this is still a significant amount of rain that's going to drop south across Tucumcari. So you're going to get right back to it with more rain, lightning, and you've already got a lot of water in town. You got a flash flood warning in effect, for goodness sakes. And while we're on this, I'm going to, if you didn't see this earlier, this is pretty impressive. Let me bump this over a little bit. And we're going to look at rainfall totals so far around Tucumcari. 4.6 is an estimate. And I know we've had actual rain gauge reports of 3 to 4 inches and even more. So that's what inundated you to begin with. And now you can see just kind of on the edge there, more rain coming into Tucumcari. I think we see it better on this radar here. So again, I'm gonna circle. This one's a little smaller to see. Here's Tucumcari right here, and this is coming this way. That's more hail, by the way. That could be up to quarter, $50 stuff. Man, I really am sorry that I have to report that. Maybe that'll weaken, maybe that'll stay west of Tucumcari, but it's just not a guarantee. What I can pretty well guarantee is you got more rain coming. So, man, incredible amounts of rain out of these storms. That's Tucumcari. Let me bring you on down. Now we're really looking at Grady. And, eventually it's going to get in there. I know we've been, expecting it. Slow motion. We got a, rotating motion like this. You can see how things are kind of moving different directions. But as far as the actual motion of the whole complex, that's very slow. And that's why we're able to build those rain totals of in excess of 4 inches. I mean, you get a heavy supercell that's dropping copious amounts of rain and is not moving. It just sits there and dumps all that. Looks like that hail just south of San Juan, this one might be shrinking a little bit. That's good, but still maybe nickel quarter size. Here is the hail core that we're most concerned about. That still could be, there might be some golf balls in that. And zoom out a little bit. Grady is just flirting with that right there. And there's Grady. This is kind of coming like this. Redeveloping here, by the way. So probably just a matter of time. Let me pull out a little bit. And what I'd really like to see is this complex to just kind of swallow that up, absorb it, bring the intensity down, stop the rotation, and then get it all south of here. But we're just going to have to wait and see how that comes to be, unfortunately.
Mr. Dave?
Yes.
Any rotation close to Dumas?
Okay, I've got a question about rotation around Dumas. And quick answer is no. Remember, here's a squall. When we have a continuous squall or a line like that, the chance of rotation automatically goes down. But sometimes you get little eddies in that line and there can be little rotations. I'm not really seeing that. But when you get way behind the line here, there's almost never rotation. There can be good soaking rain, steady soaking rain. There can be a lot of intense lightning. I've heard some of the loudest thunder, I think, when we get behind those lines and you get back in that solid rain area. So Cactus, Sunray, Dumas, Dalhart, Hartley, intense lightning, loud stuff, and a lot of rain, but tornado threat is almost zero in those areas. All right, coming into Amarillo, it's not a heavy part, but we're starting to see some rain, and looks like we're developing out to the west. So Bushland and Wildorado to Vegas, we're starting to develop a little more rain there. Intensity does pick up, right about there south of Channing. That's where we have torrential rain, and I see something in there. I could argue maybe some dime-size hail. If that should come into the city, there might be some small hail mixing in, but I don't think it's going to be destructive. What I'd like to see is let's just go ahead and get some of that heavy rain right in there over the city, see how that does. So our main concern here as of late, and really the last couple of hours, has been our zone out in Quay and Curry County. This has been the zone, and we get new stuff developing in there. That's going to be the hot spot for a while. It's going to linger a little bit, just waiting for that rotation to go down and the hail size to go down, and for that to move on out of there so we can get the flooding issue out of there. But so far that's just not the case. So it is slowly building towards Grady, but really I could say right now it's just kind of spinning around right there. Stationary. It's just not moving too much. The complex is not moving too much. If we come in closer, you'll see the rain core and the hail core. Those areas move a little bit, but it's kind of like a 45 record, going around a central point there. This rain and hail is kind of rotating that way. This rain and hail is kind of rotating that way. Weakening a little bit, but torrential rain and small hail on I-40 at San Juan and Bard. Looks like right there, the state line, we're starting to get some heavy rain there. I still just feel for, unknowing travelers coming down I-40 tonight that needed to go through San Juan and Tucumcari. What a rough one. A lot of folks, you know, they're not tuned in. They don't have the News Channel 10 app. And this is what they're running into. So I'm sure we have a lot of folks that are having to pull off and try to hole up, you know, not many towns, try to get into San Juan or Tucumcari to ride it out. And then you get flooding. So it's a rough night for travel. Speaking of I-40, and of course we'll come back and visit our storm there at Grady. So we got Amarillo now, just drawing out I-40. See how the rain is really starting to take hold over I-40. So man, what a wet ride. And then as you go west, it just gets stronger and stronger. So for Amarillo, a little bit of light rain. We pick it up again out of Bushland, Wildorado, a little heavy rain. The strongest part nearby is going to be right up in here. And that's pretty much coming down the Canadian River, it looks like. We'll watch that as it comes north of the city. No warnings out for Amarillo for severe weather, although I do need to check this latest report here. Okay, at least we've lost a county out of the watch area. That's good. So let me update us on that. I'll take us back to the severe thunderstorm watch. Goes until 3, but okay. Can you guess which county dropped off? Cimarron County, no longer under the severe thunderstorm watch. So that's good. And hopefully as that complex moves away and the severe threat drops off, more counties are going to be able to be discontinued.
Any tornado warning for Tucumcari?
Okay, folks are wondering about a tornado warning at Tucumcari, and the answer is no. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning, a new one, by the way. You can see that there at Tucumcari. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning for Quay County. It does include Tucumcari. And let's see, I'll get the latest on that. Yeah, they're looking for hail 2 inches in diameter out of that storm. And it just pains me to have to report that because it's just not fair for the same place to get hammered over and over. And that's what's going on. So all this north of I-40, non-severe. Heavy rain north of Vega. Maybe some dime or nickel size hail there, but that's below severe intensity, and that is starting to build towards Amarillo. I think that's going to be picking up pretty quickly, but I don't anticipate severe weather in Amarillo other than some small hail. Here's where we have that big old storm at Grady and San Juan. I'm just circulating around, and look at all that rain, more than 4 inches. Stay put while we're right here. I'm going to go change this sector. Let me slide my radar a little bit back to Tucumcari. I was hoping it was done, but there's the guy coming into Tucumcari. And you can see it just, you know, visually it doesn't look a lot different than what's already been there. Same colors. Again, earlier we had hail 2 inches in diameter, and if that tracks over Tucumcari, we're going to have another round of hail. Be able to see it a little bit better when I go to this system and I get it over there. Okay, so we got a little motion on this. Tucumcari right here. Another storm, and unfortunately it's turned a little bit, and it is kind of approaching Tucumcari. So, and look at all that rain rapidly developed there. So I can promise you the flooding issue is not going to get much better. And we're probably going to track more hail into Tucumcari, unfortunately. So, take a little break here.
All right, cool. 12:46:10 for 2 minutes. All right, okay. You said it could be off a little bit, but it's a rough estimate.
46, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're just making our plans to do our next shot of TV. As this continuous stream goes on. Kind of a late night we've been fairly fortunate as of late that storms tend to move out pretty quick. So not tonight. They started later and they're lasting later. KJ, take care. I mean, our sports guys are leaving. I mean, they're just going to leave us with us weather guys and gals. Sorry. Have anybody any questions or anything coming in, Nubian? Okay.
People are reporting more rain in Tucumcari now.
Here we go. Man, I wouldn't be surprised to get some reports of more than 6 inches of rain in Tucumcari overnight. And golly, melt down all the hail. I mean, there's even more right there. So I guess, we're just thankful that we're not tracking tornadoes. Now, seeing a little bit of a change here at San Juan. We might be seeing more of a linear structure in here that might help us speed things up and move that on out. Grady, what a tough call here, man. And fortunately, because you've had this big blob of hail, it's probably golf balls or better, just kind of hanging out to your north. Now, we have ranch land out there, or ranch or farmhouses, and they're getting beat up, that's for sure. But at least we're not seeing that move into the city yet. And man, if we could get a little boost and move that east before it comes south, that'd really help the situation. So we're watching that. But Tucumcari, bless your hearts. We got a big storm coming and more developing before even that one gets there. And this is an area that's already had 4 to 5 inches of rainfall. Flash flood warning out there in Tucumcari. A lot of street flooding reports and reports of fast-moving water, stuff you just got to stay out of. I-40 is just getting pummeled out here with heavy rain. Once you get across the state line, from the state line to Tucumcari, it's just a rough ride there. Okay, and I-40, I mean, even back into Texas, they're starting to get some pretty good rain at Adrian, Vega, getting closer to Amarillo. Be a good time for us to look at some tower cameras here. See what we have. Downtown, looking north. Okay, I bet the lightning starts to pick up here. And there is a little bit of hail that's north of Vega on 385. I think that's probably going to stay north of the city. How about Bushland? Looks like Bushland's getting into the rain a little bit better. There we go, lightning. No warnings. No warnings for Bushland or Amarillo.
2 minutes or 8, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
All right, there's a director telling me we got 2 minutes until we're back on TV, so getting ready for that. Let's see, okay, that's Easton, right? So he's pretty sure.
We can refresh that, I'm not sure.
Okay, may as well see, but that's just been spinning there for a while. So,
Mouse over there. You have to refresh it.
oh, I have to do it here. Okay, so how do we do that?
So you can just get out of the full screen.
Okay,
Down there. And then
screen,
just refresh his feed right there.
got it.
And see if he's still alive.
We're checking on a stream of. He is live. Okay, so back to full screen.
But he could be. He might be in a bad spot too, signal wise. That
Yeah.
might be why that is.
I see. Okay. Okay, we're about a minute away from going on TV again, so I'm gonna get organized here just a little bit and get ready for our TV audience. And see what's happening there. And I'll tell you what, hold what you got. I'll be right back. I need to adjust this. Oh yeah. 30 seconds from TV, okay? All right. Just getting the latest info there as we get ready for a little television bulletin that we'll do here in just a second. Yeah.
About 8 seconds to Dave, 8 seconds to Dave, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dave, cue Dave.
All right, we're back just with a routine update on what storms are doing across the area on this first alert night. Going pretty late here tonight. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch still going till 3 a.m. Except for Cimarron County has been dropped out of that. We have some warnings. They're not tornado warnings, but we have severe thunderstorm warnings in Quay and Curry County. We just had a new one issued not too long ago for Tucumcari. And all that red out there in Quay County, flash flood warning. And that situation is getting worse. Now we're tracking a lot of rain in the northern half of the Texas Panhandle. It's gone through Guyman, Groover, Spearman. It's approaching Perryton. It's coming through Stinnett, Borger, Fritch. It'll be moving down to Pampa here pretty quick. So that's all non-severe so far. We come on down close to Amarillo. We're starting to get the rain. Not severe. I don't anticipate a lot of severe weather. However, right there north of Vega, we might be looking at some dime to nickel size hail. If that holds this intensity, that might affect Amarillo, but even that is not, technically severe. Mainly heavy rain and a lot of lightning coming towards the city. Now, the severe storms continue to be out to the west. That's a big one there near Grady and up to around San Juan. It's been giving us problems for hours. Heavy, heavy rain, flooding, could be up to golf ball hail there just to the north of Grady. And Tucumcari has had flooding rain, 4 to 6 inches of rain already. Earlier, destructive hailstorm, and now we have another severe storm that's approaching from the northwest. Folks in Tucumcari, I'm afraid, going to be a rough ride. We're not tracking tornadoes, but it does look like more rain and hail is coming your way. We'll be back with an update soon. And be sure to catch us on our social media, our Facebook, our YouTube, our website, and we'll keep you advised. Very good. Okay, so finished up TV there, and Grady and Tucumcari are the two spots that really have our attention. So I'm going to do a little close-up on those guys. All right, so here we go with Tucumcari. Massive hail core, looks like, approaching from the northwest with more rain. Not a good situation, and I'm going to say it's just one of those unfortunate situations that the same spots are taking the worst storms over and over. It's a mess out there from Tucumcari to the state line with all that heavy rain and hail. Now the other area is Grady. Grady, you've been blessed so far just being on the edge of this severe storm, and it's looking a little better. This hail core that's just been sitting up there is starting to move a little more, but more like west to east. So if that continues, it's going to keep the hail just to your north. Sure hope so, but even then, if we look between the storms, from Grady back to Tucumcari, and here, excuse me, that's rapidly developing. Rain is getting stronger there, and there looks like they're already developing a little bit of hail in those updrafts. So, we need that spot to move out, and it's just not happening very rapidly. So, that's the main reason we're on tonight, is just to help people through this wild night of flooding rain and hail in Quay and Curry counties. I'm going to come back to computer here. So we're going to track this stuff until it winds down. This continues to get worse. In fact, I'm going to refresh this. Give me just a second. This is an estimate on how much rain has fallen just tonight, not last night. Last night we had plenty of rain in the same area, but if you notice the purple is 3 to 4 inches, and then around San Juan, we got some red in there. Okay, now we're up to 4.8. So we're getting close to 5-inch estimates of rainfall just tonight. And, you know, there's not many places that can absorb 5 inches of rain. And then you take a place that has had recent rainfall and you have kind of saturated ground, and then you throw 5 inches of rain in there. It has no place to go. It can't be absorbed, so it runs off. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the trend around Grady. I'm gonna come back to that real quick.
Raining in Gaiman.
Okay. Good rain in Gaiman without severe weather. That's what we like to see. So here's Grady. We still have our hail core right there. But as of late, that's been tracking east just a little bit. Man, I hope just a little bit longer. If we can track it east a little bit more, we'll keep that out of Grady and Broadview that had a destructive hailstorm last night. Pretty heavy rain now, also going up to the state line, up towards Bard, and then of course we have the visitor center there on I-40, the travel center right across the state line. That's just solid heavy rain. Starting to move maybe a little bit better. The problem there though is it followed up just immediately with another storm dropping heavy rain and hail. And then we have to address the issue at Tucumcari. Real close up here. So there's Tucumcari. 4 to 5 inches of rain, and now coming in, we have this next round, and that's going to be more hail up to around golf ball size. Just, oh man, it's just almost sickening to see that. It's just tough. And a couple more cells out here. We'll have to wait and see what those guys do. Man, New Mexico, rough night out that way. Okay, back for Amarillo, and a lot of folks have been asking if we're going to have severe weather here. I'd say probably not. However, we got this spotch. This fired up just north of Vega, and there's a little hail in there. That could be nickel size. Right now that's moving east, but if you watch out in here, you'll notice that we have development, you know, towards the city here. And there's a little spot also around Bushland, I guess. So it's intensifying a little bit. Can't rule out some hail for Amarillo. Just I don't think we're going to see a lot. But on the other hand, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. We got time for some strengthening. Check on Bushland here on a tower cam. Well, we're definitely getting into the rain there. Oh, yeah. Lightning really coming on in there. Maybe some small hail. It'd be tough for me to be able to see it at this point.
Question.
Yes, question.
Is Clovis going to see this storm, or is it staying to the north?
A lot of folks wondering if Clovis is going to get hit again after their wild and damaging night last night. So why don't we just take a look down that way. Okay, so again, we're going to leave the Amarillo area, and let's come down to Grady and Clovis. Earlier I would have said, yeah, it looks pretty rough, but lately the motion has turned a little more to the east here instead of south. Now we still have these guys developing back towards Tucumcari, and we just don't know what they're going to do, you know. But right now, nothing really bearing down on Clovis. I still think in time, I'll zoom it out a little bit. Yeah, I think in time, some of this is going to build down to the south, but it's just not happening very fast, that's for sure. While I'm out wide, you see rain developing now over Canyon. Lake Tanglewood, Umbarger, Bushland, Wildorado, Amarillo. It's starting to develop and move in. The little spot there that's got a little hail right there, I want that to stay to the north of the city. I want to get the rain without any hail. Let's see if we can pull that off. Another report coming in out of Albuquerque that says, no, they're just saying the storm up by Tucumcari might have golf ball size hail in it, as we expected. Okay, some areas we need to kind of monitor real quickly. Here's the northern part of the line. A little development there between Pampa and Miami. We have a pretty heavy pocket, mainly heavy rain around Stinnett, maybe pea to marble size hail. Fritch, in and out of some pretty heavy rainfall. And then oh gosh, this ball of rain here is just absolutely beautiful to see. That's the sweet spot where you get moderate to heavy rain, just general steady soaking rain without the severe weather. That's happening. Groover, Morse to Dumas, Cactus, Hartley, and Dalhart. Hey, hallelujah on this. I can't wait to hear rain reports tomorrow, but we're getting that without severe weather. What do we got?
I said it's today now.
Oh, it's today. Okay, yeah. All right. The time's kind of running together to me here. It's what is it actually? 12:57. Okay, about 1 o'clock. Take a little coffee break here. Appreciate you being with us here on our continuous stream that we do on our platforms outside of TV. We've decided, we got this really, really nice, cool, elaborate system that allows us to use all these resources. I get to kind of direct them myself. But it's a way to keep the information out there for people who need it, who can check in whenever they want to at your convenience. But we know that, storms be going all across our area, and people want to know what's happening, what's going to come to their hometown. So that's what we try to do. But we also, if need be, keep our television audience posted at the same time. So you'll see us kind of go in and out of TV coverage. Have a director in the house right now. So what do we got, David?
About 126 for cut in. 126 o'clock.
Okay.
About 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, good.
About 126 for TV. Grab a little snack here while we do this. Heavy rain getting closer to Amarillo. We're getting some now. We will have thunder and lightning, and if you have our News Channel 10 app on your phone, it's going to tell you over and over, lightning has been detected near your location. The voice ought to sound kind of familiar on that. Might get something like heavy rain has been detected near your location. So, I mean, the phone app is great because, I don't know, if you have it and you use it a lot at night, sometimes I'll have it by the bedside. That's when I know a storm is coming. If there's a warning, it'll give you a notification. If you get a lightning strike nearby, you can turn those off if you don't want them, but it's good. I had some folks at church, though, recently tell me that their dog hates my voice, just hates my voice, because when I come on, it's learned that when I come on the phone that there's going to be stormy weather, and they just hate that. So I don't take that personally, by the way. It's kind of funny. Okay, I need to update out here in New Mexico. Grady, man, we're dodging the bullet. This is awesome. I didn't think this was going to happen earlier. We had a big swatch of hail just kind of hanging out right there, but it was moving down to the south. But here at the last minute, and I'm not giving you a complete green light, but I like the way this is working out. The hail swath tracking a little more east and it's staying north of Grady. That's great. Grady and Broadview last night had some damage from storms, and that could easily happen again tonight. If that storm shifted just a little further south, you have a severe thunderstorm warning, and you've been on the edge of some of the rain, lightning there, but man, we're just not seeing a direct hit there yet. It's kind of good. The storm that's back between you and Tucumcari is weakened a little bit, moving a little bit more. That's good. Tucumcari, however, I guess, you hear about taking one for the team. Gosh, you guys have been taking it on the chin, that's for sure. Last several hours, we've had destructive hail, flooding rain, and I'm talking a lot of rain, 4 to 6 inches of rain in there. A lot of flooding in Tucumcari. And now you got this new storm coming in.
Mr.
So
Dave,
it's raining there again, yes.
what is all this rain doing to Palo Duro Canyon?
Palo Duro Canyon, that's it's a good question. It's not raining there right now, at least not heavily. But that's an area that we really have to watch out for flash flooding. And I know lately they've been closing trails because there's been a lot of water, and there's low water crossings down there. So if you have plans for Palo Duro Canyon, certainly you got to check that out before you go down there, see if anything's closed, and before you get there, see if those water crossings are closed also. We'll take a look over there, but I'm looking at Tucumcari right now. Still have this big area of hail, $50 to golf balls possible there. And I don't want that to come right into Tucumcari. You're getting some heavy rain right now. It's shrinking a little bit. I don't know if that's a trend yet, but I sure hope so, because that one is coming on into Tucumcari. Okay, slide over to Palo Duro Canyon, which I'll have to draw it in here, is about right here. Looks like we're getting definitely gonna get some rain there, but it's just not torrential. We don't have a flood issue there. For Amarillo, okay, starting to get a little rain. Good news, hey, look at that little pocket of rain, sorry, that little pocket of hail that we were concerned about a little bit there. Looks like that's taking a little turn to the northeast. Good. Good deal. We're gonna get rain in Amarillo. This right here is just kind of light to moderate rainfall. I don't think it'll be that long till some of this moves over. Vega's is getting it right now. Adrian. Rain will pick up, and we might rain for a couple of hours with this tonight. It's just amazing. I'm going to come out to the eastern part. We haven't visited out here in a while. Rain at Guyman, Optima, picking up there around Hooker. Good news about this whole area is just non-severe. But good rain. I'm talking solid rain at Groover and Spearman, starting to build over to Perryton, but non-severe. You're not getting the hail that you've had here recently. That's good news. We do have a little uptick off to the east of Stinnett, right in here. We might be looking at some nickels to quarters there. But that's pushing out over Roberts County and, Highway 70 north of Pampa. Probably take that. Not a lot of, certainly no communities. Not that many populated areas out there. But a little bit of hail there. It's just not blasting towards the town. Miami, we have a little bit of rain coming your way. Non-severe. We have some lightning. Places like Stinnett, Fritch, Sanford, and Borger, right around Lake Meredith. Get some heavy rain right now. That's good news. Again, we're going to see a good rise, I think, on Lake Meredith. That's moving off to the east, out towards Skellytown. We'll see some of that coming soon. Pampa, going to have to wait a little while. I think, this will build your way maybe in about an hour or so. Hopefully it's coming in non-severe. Bishop Hills, rain picking up a little bit. Eagle Tree, intensity going up just a little bit. And then south of Channing on Highway 385 there. Thank you, Nivea. Okay, thanks. Be safe, okay. draw this in. There's another area that, there could be a little bit of hail, but more like nickel dime size, I think. And that's going to build up, looks like towards the Canadian River. Boys Ranch, Valley de Oro, we'll start to get into some heavier rain, and eventually we'll get that down on I-40. Vega and Adrian, you're definitely seeing some of that. Primarily a good soaker right there. This is not severe right in here. That little area of hail again, Bishop Hills, Valley de Oro, that's what we're looking at. Okay, further south now, Canyon, starting to get into some rainfall, not real heavy. It's like Umbarger, Hereford just to your north, and then picking it up on I-40 out here to Adrian, heavy rain. That goes to the state line, and then we run into our severe weather. Still have our severe cells out here. Okay, I don't know. It's hard to call if we got a downtick in intensity yet. And a little close up on Grady. Still watching our hail just to our north. Man, that's working out so well for Grady and Broadview. I like that. It's good to have some good news to pass along. I like that. They could still push south a little bit, and we're not going to let you off the hook in Grady, but I like the trend there. Concern right now is Tucumcari. The next batch of heavy rain is coming in. Can't avoid that. It's adding on to several inches of rain that's already falling, and 4 to 6. Some places are going to go higher than that. But we also have more hail. Now the hail core appears to be shrinking a little bit. That's good. We can still see $half in there, however. So Tucumcari, hopefully you're staying put. If you got the night shift or something, or you just got to get somewhere, watch out for water-covered roadways, because they're going to be there, and those are danger spots. And hopefully we got a weakening trend. I'm afraid you're going to have a little more hail too. Hopefully it's just not very big. And zooming out, we got additional storms back to the west, but they're starting to move a little more east. So hopefully those aren't coming right at you either. Some good news there. Okay, let's do something a little different here. About to check some towers, see what our visuals look like. Amarillo, we're getting some light rain right now. See kind of the leading edge of that shelf off to the north. Our bushland cam here. Raining there, and told you we'd see a wind shift. I think we're starting to see that there. Quite a bit of lightning now coming into the bushland area. Hey, we're not tracking severe weather on I-40. But some updates here for you. We're looking at the likelihood that we've seen 5 inches of rain. San Juan to Tucumcari, Bard. It's still raining there, if you can believe that. And I'll go through this also, but here's our warnings. No tornado warnings anywhere in our area. Our severe thunderstorm watch still locked in. That's set to go until 3, especially in the southern part of it. The yellow, that's where we have severe thunderstorm warnings. Look at that. That's a good chunk to be under severe thunderstorm warning. And then all the red, which does include Tucumcari, that's our flash flood warning. So here's another radar loop for you. If you're north of I-40, we got really good news. That's just rain and lightning, occasionally gusty winds. So, places Guyman, Groover, Spearman, Stinnett, Borger, and Fritz, you're in some of the heavier rain right now. Pampa to Perryton, that'll be coming your way pretty soon. And then just solid soaking rains, non-severe, but impressive. Back to Dumas, Hartley, Cactus. Dalhart, I think may be wrapping up here pretty soon. If we go south, you can see Amarillo, and you see the redder stuff starting to at least affect the city. The north side starting to get it first. Filling in now up around the Canadian River. And then we have that patch of heavy rain, I think that's going to stay just north of the city. Stay just north of Rolling Hills and maybe get out towards Tierra Grande. But I don't anticipate severe weather for Amarillo, at least not at the moment. Good news. Canyon starting to pick up in intensity, and then if you look out to the west, Vega to Adrian down to about Sims, that's where some of the heavier rain is. But it doesn't really look like it's associated with the hail. So I-40 and northward are really good. Here's the problem spots, and it just, man, it's just not moving. You see that heavy rain and hail around Grady and around San Juan and Tucumcari. Those are the big boys. Hopefully in time we're going to push that south a little bit, get it to move and get out of there. But right now we're looking at severe storms there for hail up to about golf ball size, especially north of Grady and especially around Tucumcari. So let me switch systems and we'll have these guys a little closer up.
So what causes a storm to stay in a position like that and not move?
Yeah, and a question here from my director and assistant is, how come some of these storms are not moving, others are? So let me back this out again, and I'll touch on this again. So what we have here is this complex. It's an organized complex of storms. So it's a lot of storms that got together, and what happened is back behind it, we developed kind of a pool of cold air, rain-cooled air, and it's dense and it's heavy, so it likes to push out. It's like if you poured syrup on pancakes, it's heavy and it moves out, right? So that kind of gives it a push. So the leading edge of these storms have their own cold air that's pushing it, okay? But these guys that are out here and they're individual storms, they're isolated, they're discrete. They haven't developed that cold pool, so they're just sitting out there. So we have to rely then on the upper level steering currents, upper level winds. And they're blowing across the area here, but only, 10, 20 miles an hour. So it's like chunking a block of wood in the stream. If the stream is not moving, that block of wood doesn't move much either. So that's what happens here. These storms are just kind of sitting out there. They're spinning, they're sitting by themselves, and there's not much upper level wind to push them. So until we get organization there, or they develop into a line and get a cold pool to push them, they just sit there and spin. So that's why those guys are basically stationary. But it does look like now, we can kind of see that trend. It does look like, we're starting to kind of form more of a line here. So you can see it joining up right here. That's good. So anytime we get more of a linear structure, we usually don't rotate, and there is more of an organization to get the ball moving. It brings the severity down sometimes and helps them to get pushed out of there. So hopefully we're starting to see that evolve, and we'll get some progress over the next hour or so. Hey, Grady, I don't know how it's happening, but you're missing out on that hail just to your north. Beautiful. Tucumcari, man, slowly coming on in. Let's see. So here's Tucumcari. Heavy rain, and that purple's just coming into the city. Let me check a report here. Nothing new on our Tucumcari storm from Amarillo. Wow, Fritch, you guys just got more than ½ an inch, 0.6 of an inch of rain in Fritch in the last 15 minutes.
Wow.
Wow, that's coming down right there. So that'll give you some street flooding, and let's take a look at Fritch here. Yeah, okay. You see that heavy batch. That's coming into Borger now, so folks in Borger, you could get the same thing, ½ an inch of rain in 20 minutes or so. Okay, I'm gonna come back to the city. Okay, I'm gonna change systems on us here. Oops. Oh, yeah. All right, back it up a little bit. Sometimes this, on our wide shots, this might be a little easier to see on radar. Okay. Yeah, you see that heavy rain around Fritch and Borger, so, if you use those same colors, south of Spearman, very heavy rain. Pampa, it'll be coming your way, I don't know, half an hour or so. It is developing out towards Miami, out that way. And just solid, beautiful rain back to Dumas, Dalhart, Hartley, Channing. All right, Amarillo, let's see the heavier rain. Looks like north side will get it first. We'll have to wait a little bit to get some more of that coming from the west. Not severe, still maybe some small hail up around the Canadian, it looks like. Vega, solid rain. That's now south of I-40. We're starting to see that around Umbarger, getting close to Sims and Bootleg. And then we hit our severe storms, not moving as much.
Tucumcari starting to get some pea-sized hail.
Tucumcari, okay, yeah, getting some pea-sized hail. Very good, and probably going to get bigger, but hopefully not as big as what you've been through here. Okay, yeah, let's see, reports, get a time on this. 1:16 Central, so 12:16 Mountain. There's some golf balls at Wheatland, to south of Wheatland. That's not too far from Tucumcari. Hey, but it does look like we saw a little decrease in intensity at Tucumcari here within the last scan. I like that. I like that a lot. So let's investigate that a little more. If you're in Tucumcari, we're just kind of checking things out. Okay, it still looks pretty solid, but oh, it is weakening pretty quickly. So maybe we're not going to get the golf balls. Maybe it's going to be like quarters or nickels. And we're starting to pick up a little speed. So I think overall, we're starting to kind of line out in here, a little more progress, and hopefully we'll speed things up out there in New Mexico. Check on some tower cameras here. We haven't done that in a while. See what's happening in Amarillo. There we go. It's not coming down heavily, but we are getting some rain. There we go. Quite a bit of lightning. I imagine we'll hear quite a bit of thunder next couple hours. Heaviest rain is I'd say around Quail Creek and Bishop Hills, out that way, with some heavy rain about to approach from Umbarger and Canyon. Very good. Oh, let's see. Here's a look at Bushland. Okay, I'm going to look. I'm going to change the direction we're pointing there. Is this right? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's the one. Oh, I know what we got to do. We got to do that escape thing. There we go. Yeah, okay. And then bring it down. Oh, I am on the wrong one. And the wrong mouse. Okay. Been a long night. Okay, so here's a shot from Bushland. We had been looking kind of north. There's the rain running off the tower there. Okay. Let's get out some of those lights. Okay, so this is Bushland and I-40. Okay, we'll take a look at that underpass area. Okay. It's pretty good rain there. But no hail or anything out there at Bushland. And really, if you've been awakened by thunder, lightning, and you're checking in here for information, you found us on social media, we're just kind of letting people know what to expect. So, and the good news is we're not tracking tornadoes. Very good news. Okay. Need to point out, folks in Borger, man, deluge. Heavy rain coming around in Borger right now. And earlier, Fritz, you had 0.6 of an inch in, 15 minutes? I mean, that is opening up right there. If there is any hail out that way, it's out over open country in Roberts County. Was that a lightning hit? Power flashing? Yeah. Yep, it was lightning. We just took a hit here at the station, didn't knock us off the air or anything. Probably gonna see more of that, and here's why. Okay, here's well, maybe. Okay, is that taking some lightning hits here at the TV station, and it's kind of rattling some of our systems here. Snack time, just for a second.
What's your battery?
Battery is, I'm on 1 bar. Okay, stand by just a second. I've been yakking so much that, yeah, yakking for so long. I need to change batteries, so I'm going to mute here. Stand by. Juice means I can talk for another couple of hours if we need to. Okay, there we are. This is Amarillo. A little bit closer. Okay. Okay, so the rain picking up, but again, this is non-severe. Tanner ought to be pretty happy because it looks like we're going to get some pretty solid rain right here at News Channel 10.
Is his grain gauge here?
Yeah, Tanner gets to count the rain here at News Channel 10, which is right about here. Thundering pretty frequently now. So some solid rain across the north side of Amarillo. And tell you what, this system I think will show it a little bit better. Back it up a little bit. Okay, here hitting the roof pretty well now. Okay, so for Amarillo, the storms have arrived. Count on a lot of lightning. Count on quite a bit of rain. But other than street flooding, I don't think we're going to have any major issues. But here's where we're still tracking some whoppers out there around Grady. Man, we still have that intense part of the storm. Still a lot of hail in there. Heavy rain and somehow getting into Grady. Most of those staying off to the east a little bit. And then going up to Tucumcari. Now, good news on that one storm. Unfortunately, it's raining more where you don't need it. You know, I wish we could spread this out over a number of days, but 5 inches of rain already with more coming in. But that storm appears to be pushing out a little faster. And then back behind it, one more. Maybe we can get that to weaken a little bit. But we'll just, time will tell. So for folks in Amarillo or anywhere in the central Panhandle, here's what we're tracking. And it's a night, you know, there's going to be plenty of rain, and we are under a severe thunderstorm watch. There's been a lot of hail, most of it, though, in the western part of the area. So we're sorry for them, but happy elsewhere that we can track a lot of rain and not have a lot of severe weather. 30, yeah.
30, okay.
Sure. About to work in a little update for our
Yeah, that'll work.
TV audience. So stand by for that, and I'll have an update on this first alert night. Also gives me a chance for another bite here. Yeah. Okay. Coming on TV here. Hey friends, Doppler Dave here with you. Just a routine update on a stormy night. We're still tracking some severe weather. It's a first alert night, and we've been busy. If you're in Amarillo, the storms have arrived. I think we'll get by without any severe weather here across the city. Severe thunderstorm watch continues until 3 a.m. And we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect, mainly around Tucumcari, down to Grady. That's Curry and Quay counties. And flash flood warnings continue also, especially around I-40 from Tucumcari to San Juan. Let's take a look at radar, and just tracking a ton of rain, but non-severe across the northern half of the area. Some good downpours in there, some good solid rainfall. Really picking up north side of Amarillo towards the Canadian River. Places like Eagle Tree, Pleasant Valley, Rolling Hills, River Road, all the way down to the, say, St. Francis, the North Loop. Getting some heavy rainfall right now, but not severe. We're not anticipating damaging hail or even strong winds. I think mainly for Amarillo, we're gonna get by with just good old rain, but a lot of lightning and a lot of thunder. Canyon getting some rain. Thunder and lightning, the same thing there. Out west to Vega, down to Sims, and just north of Hereford, the rain picking up. And then we have about 2 areas that we still have severe weather. Notice Grady, that's the northern part of Curry County. Hail up to golf ball size there, and torrential rainfall, not moving very rapidly, just kind of drifting off to the east. And then for Tucumcari, remember we've had 4 to 6 inches of rain out there, still raining. We just had a little more hail and another storm coming your way. So our main concern out that way is going to be for the hail. Again, there's an estimate of almost 5 inches of rain around Tucumcari. So just cannot reiterate enough. If you're around Tucumcari, San Juan that way, watch out. Probably don't travel if you don't need to. And then watch out for rain. Be sure to catch us with more on our Facebook and YouTube streams. We'll see you back here later on. All right. We will be covering until we get those intensities down out in New Mexico. Hopefully that's going to happen pretty soon, but that's where we have the severe weather. These storms right here. If we could, as soon as we get a weakening trend there, we can shut down shop. But I tell you what, I know we got a lot of people out in New Mexico that are just, needing information. Reports of a foot or 2 of water going across parts of Tucumcari. So think about stranded travelers or just our friends out there in Tucumcari that just, they need to know what's happening there. Fortunately, it looks like the hail threat coming down, but more rain is probable, so that flooding issue is going to continue. And Grady, my goodness, I mean this is amazing. That storm right there, spinning around, producing hail, producing torrential rainfall, and just not moving too much. It looks like it's about the last one that's kind of out there by itself and rotating. So as soon as we can get that baby to line out and quit rotating, it'll shoot the severe potential down tremendously. If you're just waking up because the thunder or your phone went off or whatever, for Amarillo, rain has arrived, but it's not severe. Come back on that as I position this other radar. Okay, here's Amarillo. Just starting to be overtaken by more rain. But what I wanted to show you is this big old storm out of Grady. Okay, flip over to this system. So right in here is all that hail, and I don't know how Grady missed out on all this, man. It's just like a good Lord was looking out after you tonight with a fence or something. Right in there has been kind of the edge of the hail, staying just outside of Grady. And unlike Tucumcari, you caught a lucky break, and you just didn't deserve to take it 2 nights in a row like Grady did. I'll zoom it out a little bit, and again, intensities appear to be coming down. This is great out here around Tucumcari and beyond. Still got that heavy rain, and all we're doing is accumulating and running off out there, so that's bad. But this one little spot right here, if we can get around Grady and get some decreasing intensity, then we'll be able to shut her down and say, everybody just sit back and enjoy some rain. But we're not quite there yet. So while we're on this, or I'll tell you what, we probably, now that the rain has arrived, had some interesting looking tower cameras, so that's where we're headed next. Huh, there they are. Okay, downtown Amarillo. Okay. Raining somewhat, but just doesn't look too heavy downtown yet. And then we got Bushland. Oh. Same thing. I see some raindrops and definitely wet there at I-40 and Bushland Road, but we're not tracking hail or anything like that. This one's coming through just right. Just right. Back up to Guyman, you folks up that way. Yeah, you still got some rain going on. That's good, but not severe there. And Lake, this is going to be black and white. That's Lake Meredith. I see rain hitting the lens there. A lot of it. Okay. But no tornadoes or anything like that. It's certainly some good news. Hearing a lot of thunder here at News Channel 10. A lot of lightning. We're going to have that for a prolonged period of time, I think, as we wait the intensities to drop off a little bit. Quick update on some of our warnings and everything. So we'll back this up a little bit. Severe thunderstorm watch now for about another hour and a half, depending on the trends. It does look like it's starting to improve a little bit out to the west, but we still have flash flood and severe thunderstorm warnings in Quay and the northern part of Roosevelt counties. Loving all this rain. It's finally getting into Miami, Perryton, standby Canadian and Lipscomb. It'll be coming your way pretty soon. Pampa, knocking on the door. Some good rain should be there pretty soon, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Also around Panhandle and White Deer, we got rain about to move down to Highway 60. Notice the north side of Amarillo, kind of big winter right now as far as rain, but we're not through by a long shot. You see more rain at Canyon, I should say. Canyon and Umbarger. I think that's going to fill in, come in from the southwest. Vega, so it gets pretty good rainfall with some more on the way. Just to the north of Hereford, coming into Sims, heavy rain. It looks like any hail potential is coming down pretty rapidly. There's our trouble spot, and that just refuses to break down there around Grady. It's shifted east just slightly, but we're still just pouring rain down on I-40 up at San Juan and Tucumcari, still getting some rain. I'll back out a little more. We got to get that rain out of Tucumcari. You folks have just been inundated with torrential rainfall, and 4 to now maybe 6. When we get the reports tomorrow, something over 6 inches is not going to surprise me somewhere around Tucumcari. It's just been crazy. And again, if you got to make a run to Albuquerque, we got to wait till tomorrow morning to let this stuff drain away and make sure we're safe. Okay, got a new scan there. Looks like around Grady. Hail still staying just to your north. Fantastic. Still could be $half size though, or even bigger. So we can't quite write that baby off. And folks in Clovis, we've had a lot of questions about that because last night this is exactly what happened, and it appeared like we were about to do that again. A storm came from the north, right there at about Grady, and came down to Clovis and had damaging hail and wind and knocked all that power out. We thought that might be happening again, but man, this storm got right down to Grady and just stuck. I mean, it has been parked there. So that's another area that I think tremendous amounts of rain are going to be possible. And you see some signs of rotation in there. And I'm going to come back to this system. Let me pause it. And we'll look at the rotation or the velocity of the wind in here. It's exactly what we see right there. We got that rotating area. But it's the same kind of rotation we've seen most of the night. That is very broad and nothing really tight that's cranking out tornadoes. But it's those rotating updrafts that produce severe weather. They support those big hailstones, and when they don't move, they drop torrential amounts of rainfall. So I'll come back to reflectivity, and still a very, very formidable storm. This is the kind of the last one that we're nursing to get that to die down a little bit. Once it does, we'll kind of discontinue our continuous coverage and write this one off. But slow go. Let's come back and we'll look at Amarillo now. Yeah, okay, yeah, good moderate heavy rainfall. A lot of lightning. Canyon getting in on some of that. Some of the heavier pockets of rain now. Kind of no man's land there northwest of Miami. North side of Amarillo. Probably Boys Ranch. Getting some of that just south of Adrian down to Sims. Heavy rain, and then we hit the severe storms. Looks like hail picking up again, but this time moving away from Tucumcari. Right about there, moving down to the southeast. Good news. Still watching that other storm behind it at Tucumcari. Weakening, so not as much hail, but again, additional rainfall is not welcome at this point. Very good. You know, with that rotation around Grady, we got to continue to sit here and watch that. Let me check on a report here real quick. Okay, nothing new, so that means continuation of heavy rain up to quarter, $half size hail north of Grady. Again, on this radar, Grady's right here. So the hail's kind of moved away. We got that little rotation. It looks like it's disrupted a little bit. So maybe this thing's finally breaking down on that rotation. And man, if that's the case, we could see the weakening trend that we've been waiting on, and move towards a resolution to this evening here. Yeah, that's where the strongest storms are going to be, back on this western flank here. So they'll continue to be pretty strong, but again, the trend looking a little bit better out that way. It's pretty frequent lightning and thunder for Amarillo. Kind of waiting for my phone to go off and tell me about lightning. Should be coming up. Do we have any questions or comments? Or
We haven't had anything coming in about 10 minutes.
yeah.
Just a lot of lightning and thunder in the area. I think somebody reported power
Sure.
outage in Tierra Grande.
Okay. Power outage in Tierra Grande, which is north side of Amarillo. Wrong radar. Or north of Amarillo. So that's up here, Tierra Grande, just south of the Canadian, between Amarillo and Canadian.
Okay.
Heavy rain, that's where we're getting, half inch every 15 minutes or so. But some lightning is probably knocked out a transformer or something there.
About 2:01 is the next time, if that's what you want to do.
Okay. So we're looking at another TV update about 2 o'clock or so. Okay. Wetting the whistle here a little bit. By the way, tomorrow I'm afraid we're going to do this again with more intense storms. So this has been an incredible weather pattern. Nightly rounds of storms, and let's go ahead and show you here. Let's not talk about it. I'm going to go to take a look at this. My 7-day supercast. Can you believe this? Next, 7 days, we have storm chances, especially tomorrow. Since we went past midnight, my Friday knocked off there, but we have about a 50 to 60% chance of rain and storms tomorrow night. Saturday is still high. First alert going into Saturday and probably Sunday. I can't remember this many severe nights in a row that we've had in a long time, with more to come. May is kind of the peak of our storm season. We're living up to our reputation this year.
What's the timing on the storms tomorrow?
Yeah, the timing on the storms tomorrow, it's
They're on Friday, I guess today.
yeah, that's right, today. Tonight, that'll mess with you there, but I think our Friday night storms will probably start, 5, 6 out in the west, Amarillo probably a little earlier to Friday night, something like maybe 7, 8 p.m. instead of the late night stuff like we have here. So hopefully this stuff wraps up pretty quick so myself and my team can get home and get a little rest before we do this again tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna wide shot here on radar. And a lot of thunder and lightning for Amarillo. The heavier rain so far has been up across the north, but this stuff around Canyon and now getting up around Grayhawk and looks like Highland Springs, Randall High School, these areas, the Outpost, south of Bushland. Rain's picking up in here, and looks like that's heading up towards I-40. So I think the rain will be picking up across the good part of Amarillo here pretty soon. Our severe stuff continues to be out on the southwestern edge back in here. And really, more specifically, right there north of Grady. I can't wait to hear how much rain has fallen there. And in fact, I tell you what, I'm going to go do another radar rain estimate on that. You can watch the radar, kind of see what's going on there. What I got to do, I'm going to adjust some things on this other radar here real quickly. Okay, that looks good. If you're just tuning in, we're just kind of on to so people know what's happening around their place, whatever town you're in. Okay. We've not been tracking tornadoes. Most of this is non-severe, but we got this spot out here. In New Mexico, where we still have a lot of hail and flooding. My goodness. Okay, gonna update this. Okay. Yep. That's what I thought. Okay. I'm doing a estimate on rainfall. Okay. Wow. Okay, so can't wait to show you this here. Okay. Changing systems here real quick. First alert for sure. Okay, so I'm updating right now. I'm going to update estimates on rainfall down between Grady and San Juan. You see all the rain right in there. Still have a honker of a storm right there, but not moving. So, you know, look between San Juan and Grady, northern Curry, southern Quay County. Here we go. Latest radar estimate is there south of San Juan. There could be more than 8 inches of rain that has fallen. So it's not a surprise that we have a flash flood warning there. Okay, it's kind of covered up by that severe thunderstorm watch, that orange right there. But from Tucumcari to San Juan to Grady, we've had just copious amounts of rainfall from almost stationary storms. It just doesn't take that long. We saw, you know, up by Fritch, where it's probably not raining as heavily, there was you know, half an inch in 15 minutes. So you get storms that have been there for, you know, 3 hours. Man, that's just crazy. So while I'm on this, severe thunderstorm watch set to go. Oh, another hour or so. No tornado warnings or anything like that. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch down around Tucumcari, and flash flood warnings continue for that area. Here's radar looking up to the north from Perryton now, just about coming into Pampa. It's pretty heavy rainfall. If you look around Groover, you see a little swirl there. That's nothing really to be concerned about. Panhandle now getting the rain. As we come on down to the central Panhandle, rain picking up for Amarillo. There's going to be plenty of lightning, and eventually we might even get around to some street flooding. Don't know about that, but it's definitely going to see an increase in rainfall for Amarillo. We're just not tracking hail or rotations. Rain picking up around Canyon at the same time, and then out to the west, it's north of Hereford for the time being. But Sims, those are some soakers out that way, but non-severe. There's our severe storm, and it just won't move. I just got a radar estimate of 8.2 inches of rain.
Oh, wow.
So that's, and it's still raining there. Gosh, I mean, we may go over 9 inches. I don't know, it's gonna be crazy, but that's why we have the flash flood warning in effect for that whole area. I mean, I bet we get some videos and images in tomorrow of some pretty crazy stuff. I bet we got farmland that is flooded like crazy. A lot of that spilling across roadways. I just hope it's not getting into houses and stuff. But that little swirl there north of Grady has been very annoying, very problematic, because that's generating our severe weather, and it's just not moving out or weakening, either one. And then we get over to Tucumcari, zoom it out a little bit. Clovis, eventually it might get down to you, but it's not moving your way yet. Tucumcari, we get this training, we call it. That's where we get several cells move over the same location instead of one stationary storm. And you had that earlier, but now you got this train of storms that's keeping the rain coming in Tucumcari. And we've been battling a couple of feet of water in Tucumcari anyway. See what's going on here in Albuquerque. Okay, severe thunderstorm warning there, Quay County. Looking at $half size hail. Not getting any update on the amount of water out there, but gosh, think about 9 inches of rain. We had flooding in Amarillo last week with about 2 or 3 inches of rain. So this, 3 times that much. This is crazy. Okay, I'm going to change systems because I want to look at the wind velocity there around Grady. I mean, if you just look at how the rain and hail is moving, it's doing a circle, right? Like that. And I'm going to stop it so we can actually look at this in detail. Checking the wind. Yeah, there it is. There's that red versus green. I mean, it's got an obvious rotation that just refuses to break down. But that's why it's severe. That's why that's a severe thunderstorm, because that rotating updraft, not tornadic. It's not a real tight rotation, but that's what's keeping it able to support hail and copious amounts of rain before, and not moving too much. So we'll get back into motion here. Yeah, okay, Grady looks like you're getting into a little more of the rain, but still dodging some of that hail. And coming out a little bit. A little better at Tucumcari, at least you're down to moderate rainfall instead of heavy rainfall. But that next cell is about to come your way as well. So what we're doing is, most of the activities become non-severe. But with a rotating storm out there around Grady, we just have to continue to keep eyes on it. It's the kind of storm that could produce a tornado. Hasn't done that yet, but man, what a major threat on the flooding department and a lot of hail. Tucumcari also, your flooding situation is just getting prolonged and aggravated because of all of that rainfall. Yeah, looking a lot better back in Texas. It's just playing the waiting game on those storms down to the south. Now, one thing that might help, we're getting these guys developing out ahead. So down by Portales, some storms are developing. So if we can get a little more competition for the moisture and the warm air and disrupt some of the inflow into that, sometimes that can start a weakening trend. So we may be about there. It's not quite. Anything on Facebook or?
Yeah, somebody did ask a minute ago about Portales. So just a lot of canyons getting hit
Okay.
pretty hard, a lot of
Let's take a look at Canyon here real quick. Yeah, really picking up in Canyon. Some good moderate now heavy rainfall. This right in here. So rain is picking up. Also coming into Amarillo there too. But it doesn't look like that's harboring any hail. Zoom out a little bit. You can see it a little bit better here. Yeah, okay. Good rain coming into the west side of Amarillo here. Coming into the southwest. I mentioned places like Highland Springs and Grayhawk. Randall High, Town Square, rain picking up all the way down into Canyon, just a good soaker. So this is one of the reasons that we're staying on tonight. I mean, you hear all that lightning and thunder, you hear rain running off. We've had warnings for other places. You know, it wasn't that long ago we had tornado warnings around, so you know, people just need to know what's happening. And like I said, if you got your News Channel 10 phone app, you'll be getting notifications about lightning near your location and heavy precipitation near your location. A lot of that going to be happening here. In fact, it's a good time to see what our tower cams look like. So downtown, okay, rain picking up downtown. That'll be getting heavy pretty soon. Bushland's got solid rain right now. But once again, no hail out that way. And then we'll just kind of follow that same area back out. A lot of heavy rain now south of I-40, so getting closer to Hereford, developing there right now. And then we cross over and you obviously see this, you know, rotating storm. Looks like it might be the last rotator out there. It just will not give up the ghost. Man. Down to the south, people in Clovis were wondering, this one's not moving your way, but now we got development to your south, so I think we'll start to get rain and lightning near Clovis. Hopefully not the magnitude of what you went through last night with the hail, the wind, the destruction there. This guy here just is starting to really amaze me. Strong rotation, not tornadic, but man, it's been there forever, it seems like. Estimates of 6 to 8 inches of rain and hail. And even when that one starts to drop off, I mean, this is all decent rain that's going to move across there. So the flooding issue is going to be really serious, I think. Probably for the rest of the night. It's going to take a while to drain all that away. Not right over the city of Grady or Broadview, but man, you're getting into some of the rain, that's for sure. And definitely into that rotation. If that thing comes south just a little bit, you're going to be hailed on. We're just kind of waiting for that to end. And just don't see that coming. What else we want to do? Ready? Just show you, this is what a late night looks like at News Channel 10. You know, I've got a lot of assistants, guys helping me with, you know, things coming in on our social media, when we go on TV, when we don't, give me cues and all kinds of stuff. Big team effort, and we appreciate that. But late night like tonight, we just got to ride it out until the storm threat is down. And you know, every town in our area is important. So even though it's not a severe threat at your location, one of these nights is going to be. And if you're the ones getting the storms late at night, we'll be here for you too. That's what First Alert is all about. Can you believe the rain? I mean, it's just every night. Crazy. Okay, you've seen enough of me. Here at News Channel 10, I really hear the rain starting to come down out there.
So what does that, if that around Grady, what would it need to become tornadic?
Just, you know, we need that rotation to be more concise, tighter and faster. You know, it's kind of like, think about a figure skater with her arms out, she spins around. When she brings her arms in, she spins faster. So it's called the conservation of angular momentum. If you take a rotation and you reduce its radius, it has to go around faster to have the same number of revolutions. So same amount of distance. You know, think about a bicycle tire out on the edge. Man, it really covers some ground, but near the spoke, near the hub, you know, it doesn't go around as fast. So when you reduce the radiation, when you reduce the radius, it has to spin faster to make up that distance. So that's what's not happening tonight. Is we have a broad rotation. The upper level winds are pretty weak, and that's why it's not moving too much. But it's also one of the reasons that the rotation's not really spinning fast. But that is one impressive storm, man. It's hard to believe it can be anchored like that, right just to the north of Grady. Can you imagine if that had been right over Grady? I mean,
Oh, man.
be a
Long night for sure.
you'd have hail, you know, knee deep and stuff, man. It's just, and a lot of destruction too. So, I mean, just looking at that storm, you know, I'm pretty sure we got quarters to the golf balls in there. I mean, I bet we get some photos tomorrow in the daylight, because I bet it's still going to be there. I bet in the daylight we got some hail drifts.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
right.
be watching for that. I'm gonna have the other guys watch. You know, hail. We had some of that in Clovis last night. I saw a picture. It wasn't golf ball size, more like marble size, but right where somebody's roof had funneled off, there was like this stalagmite of hail that had come off a roof and just piled up there. It was crazy. And of course, flooding rains too. Yeah. Okay, Tucumcari, let's talk about you for a minute. Can't help but notice we got another storm brewing out to your west there. This guy. So here's Tucumcari. You've been through a long-lasting stationary storm with a lot of hail and 4 to 6 inches rain. This last one, okay, 3 minutes to a TV cut in. This last storm in Tucumcari, not as much hail, but a lot of rain, and they just keep what we call training. See how they're lined up? Here's one, here's one, here's one. They seem to be just following that same track. A lot of that's been over Tucumcari. We need to get that south out of there. Still looking at that Grady storm. The severe thunderstorm warning we have, you can kind of see it right here. That batch right there is the only severe activity we got. And then underneath that, we got the flooding rain also. If you haven't seen this yet, I'm going to get back to, okay. What the radar does is it keeps track of where all the rain is and then how much rain that should total up to. And this is an estimate of more than 8 inches of rain in this area. And, you know, this was, I don't know, I did this 10 minutes ago, maybe 15. It's been raining more in that same area. So we're going to, two things I think tomorrow, we're going to hear about some just amazing rainfall totals, and then some impressive shots of hail accumulation. We're going to see that, I think, for tomorrow. Okay, so we're gearing up for a TV cut-in. I'm going to get my graphics ready. All right. And we'll just kind of hold here for a second while I get ready for this. Real quick, no severe weather in Amarillo. It's starting to rain like cats and dogs. Man, we're going to have some heavy rain in Amarillo. By the way, we are about a half an inch above normal just going into tonight. And it's been a long time since we've been above normal in rainfall. But we've, you know, I think 2-3 days ago we got a little bit above normal, a little more rain to keep us above normal, and I think we're going to go way above normal with this rain, and then the next several evenings we could be adding on. 30 seconds, okay. about to bring our, or do a cut-in for our TV audience. And then we'll come right back out to this continuous feed on YouTube or Facebook or our website. That way you can watch us anywhere you are. Okay?
Stand by.
Here we go.
Intro.
Okay. All right, turning into a long night of tracking storms across our area. We have a lot of rain and a lot of thunder and lightning, even here in Amarillo. Most of it, the majority, is not severe, but we still have some very serious storms down the western part of the area. A severe thunderstorm watch set to go until 3, maybe beyond, down to our south. We'll see if that gets issued. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Quay in the northern part of Curry County, and then some flash flood warnings out there also. We don't have any tornado warnings. From, say, I-40 north, this is just steady soaking rain. This is not severe. Plenty of lightning and a lot of waterlogged areas could have some runoff issues, so there might be some flood advisories in time, but we're looking at a pretty solid squall from Perryton, now coming into Pampa. Pampa, your rain is really going to be picking up to Panhandle on Highway 60, White Deer, but that's not severe. We're not tracking hail. We're not looking at rotating storms. Amarillo really getting it now. The rain is really filled in. I think we're going to have some solid rain for about the next half hour or so. We might have to watch out for some low-lying areas filling up with water. Think about your underpasses on I-40. Low-lying areas probably going to see some buildups. Canyon down to Happy, getting into some good moderate to heavy rainfall. Hail threat looks pretty low, so this is going to be mainly a soaking rain also. Watch out for the street flooding. Watch out for the lightning. Back just, well, around Hereford and north of there, most of Deaf Smith County around Sims, soaking up some very heavy rain. Maybe some small hail there, but that's not severe. And then finally, we get out and we cross over New Mexico, and this storm just will not give up the ghost. It won't go away. It's a rotating supercell storm. It's dropping copious amounts of rain and hail around the city of Grady. Looks like Grady, you're getting in on a little more of it now, as it slowly maybe creeps down to the southeast. Even though that's a rotating storm, we're not seeing tornadoes, but we are seeing flooding. We've had estimates of more than 8 inches of rain out that way. Okay, let's see. I'm just checking on some latest info. We're getting some strong winds of like 60 miles an hour there around Grady and Broadview. So we're going to add that to the list of hazards out there. Flooding rain, hail, and now winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. All around Grady and Broadview, northern part of Curry County. That's just a very slow moving, if not stationary storm. And then we have storms back towards Tucumcari. Right now, you're not underneath a severe core, but flooding rain has been taking place in Tucumcari, hail, and it looks like there's more rain coming your way. So main threat there is going to be driving into water-covered roadways. I know it's in the middle of the night, but keep that in mind. Be sure to continue to watch us on our platforms like YouTube, our Facebook page, our website. We'll see you back here on TV soon. All right, break time for me just for a little while. Then I'll be back on here in just a few minutes. We'll leave it on our cameras here and watch it lightning and thunder for, there we go, picking up big time in Amarillo. Still not severe, and we don't anticipate it to be. Man. All right, hey, we're just kind of sitting on our downtown camera watching it rain in Amarillo. Nothing severe or dangerous really other than the lightning coming in. I'm getting some of our latest reports. Snacking a little. All right, Amarillo, we're getting almost, well, the rate is close to an inch an hour. So we're going to get some good rain in Amarillo, there's no doubt about that. And fortunately, we're doing it without the hail or the strong wind or anything like that. Okay, the only severe weather we have is out in New Mexico. Let's take a look from Bushland here. Okay, starting to see some pretty good puddles down there, but I wouldn't say we're flooding or anything. But that's just Bushland Road. Going under I-40 there. Plenty of lightning and rain. Lake Meredith area getting some pretty good rainfall, and then up in Guyman, see what it looks like there. Still looking pretty wet, but not severe there either. Some fantastic news. What we're doing is just kind of waiting patiently for a rotating storm anyway, out in New Mexico to weekend. But it's just not doing it. So there we go, I've got it drawn in. Let me come in a little closer. There we go. I mean, this one just very plain as day. See this rotation right there. But, you know, not strong enough or tight enough to produce a tornado or anything. Check some more my messages here. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, man. All right, Grady, you're really getting into the rain now. Somehow, that main hail core is still avoiding you slightly to the north. And I don't know, you know, we're probably working on 9 or 10 inches of rain out of some of this. Gosh. And I-40, I pity the people that didn't know about severe weather and they're taking off to Albuquerque or heading west and hit all this stuff. Not a fun ride. In fact, very dangerous ride. Okay, for Amarillo, really starting to see the rain pick up across most of town with more feeding up, it looks like, from the southwest. Even when this goes by, we got a lot of moderate rain that'll linger, I think. But if thunder has awakened you, or rain, it's nothing dangerous. We don't have a tornado nearby. We don't even have any hail or straight wind nearby. Intensity picks up a little bit down to our southwest, so this would be north of Hereford. It's coming down out that way. And then we trace it back to the west. It doesn't take long to get to our severe storm. Don't mind telling you, I'm sick of this guy. I'm just sick of this storm. It's not doing any good. I mean, yeah, we love rain. We're in an area that's coming out of a drought. We love rain. But this guy is just sitting there dropping too much rain in the same spot instead of spreading it out. Not only that, we still have a serious hail threat there for Grady, a place that got damaged last night by hail and wind. And this is just, you know, salt in the wound out that way. So what it's going to take is this rotating updraft, or the rotating storm, is going to have to quit rotating and move out. But man, it's just a fixture out there. Back towards Tucumcari, a little better. At least, you know, the rain intensity is down. You have trouble draining water for quite some time out that way. And then we got to watch these guys. They're producing hail, and we've got to see what they're going to do. Will they weaken? Will they start to move? It's just too early to tell. Changing systems. Back it up and we'll go through our advisories and everything else. Okay, watch, severe thunderstorm watch, set to go into 3. I imagine, unless these guys really start to weaken, we'll see a lot of our area cleared, and then probably from I-40 south, we'll probably have a new severe thunderstorm watch that goes further into the morning hours. We'll have to wait and see on that. But right now, it's just, I mean, we definitely have severe weather continuing. But not across the northern part of the area. This is good, solid rain. Plenty of lightning and thunder moving east, but man, we got some juicy, juicy rain cores in there. Amarillo, great rain. So some of the best rain now comes from Sims to near Hereford, Amarillo, and then right up Highway 60, Panhandle, White Deer, coming into Pampa now. Your rain finally arriving. Canyon and Happy, getting some great rain. And then we got this, the heaviest rain and the strongest storms that continue to persist in the western part of the area. These guys out on the leading edge there, change systems. Here's what's going on. There's, well, let me move. There's no competition for the warm, moist air feeding in. We're starting to see it out here. You know, maybe we're getting a little more competition there. Definitely got it out here. But this guy's just kind of got its own little inflow and everything that a storm needs. Okay. Thank you, lightning. That was a lightning hit that just gave us a little jolt out here at News Channel 10. I bet my phone goes off on that one. What do you want to bet? See if our News Channel 10 app tells us about that one. I think it will. Anyway, that's, you know, for the city, that's really about our main concern: power outages, street flooding. What we're looking at here is that rotating cell around Grady, New Mexico, northern part of Curry County, north of Clovis. And I wanted to check down to the south. Okay, a little bitty chump change, guys, around Clovis. But maybe we're seeing, I don't know, more competition. And if we can shut this guy off here from rotating, you know, if we get some outflow to cut that thing out, we're going to be in a lot better shape. But right now, Grady, plenty of rain. Looks like maybe some hail, although that hail core appears to be weakening. Great news. Great news. So we're just waiting on that trend that's going to help us to, you know, slow down the intensity and get back to normal. We're getting hammered out here at News Channel 10 with lightning. And of course, you know, we got a lot of big old 1,400-foot tall metal towers, too. That helps to attract the lightning. While we're looking at that, yeah, heavy rain now for the city. And that's, I think we're going to continue for a while. I would be willing to estimate that some parts of the city are going to get more than an inch of rain. And maybe even more than that, depending on how this additional stuff tracks. Up the line here, some of the heavier rain. Still back to the west of Miami. Roberts County, very active. Getting close to Perryton, some rain. Just copious, just steady rain, but heavy across a good part of our area. We start to build some intensity down around Canyon and out towards Paladora Canyon. Okay. I was just watching some comments from Albuquerque's weather service and on that rotation out there. They don't think it's really significant. There's some heavy rain that's just north of Hereford and south of Vega. Good part of Deaf Smith County, really soaking it up there. Okay, now this last little loop, last little frame or two, a Grady storm doesn't look as crazy. But this guy has the tendency to spin right back up. It has been tenacious and just unwilling to stop out there. For our friends in Clovis, it's still well to your north and not a threat. You know, I'm still pretty confident in time we're going to build some rain and even some hail down your way, but right now it's going to take it a while to get there. I'm just hoping that what we're seeing is, you know, it's been a real obvious rotation. This, you know, doesn't look quite as defined on that last frame there. Grady, a lot of rain, and Tucumcari, still raining, but you're not in the middle of those cores. That next one out to your west, I think, is weakening just a little bit. Okay, down towards Dimmitt, Nazareth, rain picking up a little bit. From Happy out to Wayside, picking up a little bit. Claude starting to get some rain, just not severe. Good news there. Okay. Oops. Wrong way. Tell you what. If you haven't caught any of our TV cut-ins, I got all your. Let's see. I got your latest stuff coming at you here. Another lightning hit. Man. Wow. It's about 3 good lightning hits we've taken here on our tower at the TV station. Wow. Okay, severe thunderstorm watch goes until 3. Let's track that rain across the north, just dumping a lot of rain. A lot of that going into the Canadian River, a lot of that going into Lake Meredith. Greenbelt, we'll try to get you in on some of that also. Solid rain, a lot of lightning for Amarillo. And then we got our severe activity once we cross the state line. It's really down to that one guy around Grady. We can disrupt that circulation and get that to die down a little bit. We'll kind of wrap things up. But folks around Grady, Broadview, and then down towards Pleasant Valley and Clovis, we're tracking that carefully for you. See what it's going to do. We have not had tornadoes, but we have had a lot of hail, and just the amount of rain is just incredible. It does look like we're starting to at least move a little bit. This stuff right here, at least starting to push down to our south, which has not been occurring here lately. I'll come in. I've got a close-up on Grady. I'm going to get a little closer on Grady. Yeah, that's looking better. Starting to push south a little bit. A lot of rain will be coming across your area, Grady and Broadview. Hail appears to be diminishing, so that's good. But please, even through tomorrow morning, you're going to have to watch out for drainage issues and water crossing roads. We may have some new playa lakes out there tomorrow. I'm serious. There might be new lakes. There's going to be some farm fields that are just inundated out that way. And some of that is going to pour across roads. So that's kind of our next issue. But right now, hoping that this trend looks a little bit better. Let me check on some reports, and what I'll do is let's get to our tower cams. All right, there's some solid rain for the city now. Watch out for our underpasses. There's not much happening there. Let's see. Okay, Amarillo getting about, the rate is about 2 inches an hour. And we're coming up on a half an inch already in downtown. So if this keeps up for very long, man, we're going to definitely our usual spots, you know, down Bell and around Fulton and Hillside, and then the Paramount area, and then the I-40 in Washington, Olson, Washington underpasses, those fill up very rapidly. Bushland, what's happening at Bushland? A lot of rain, a lot of lightning, but you know, it doesn't look like it's real serious as far as a flood threat out that way. So coming back, it does look like we're seeing some improvements now around Grady. So fingers crossed, we may be about to wrap this baby up. We're going to see. But I promise you, I'm not going to leave a rotating storm and go home. We're going to make sure that that dies down, because you know, we'd hate to leave and then a tornado fire up and we wouldn't be able to tell you about it. So, you know, even though I don't think that's going to happen, I've seen stuff like that happen before. Man, that's a lot of rain feeding towards Amarillo. It's even getting out to the National Weather Service, our airport. Official rain going into the gauge. That's going to keep us well above normal. And can't wait tomorrow to see what the Canadian River looks like and how much is going into the lake. Okay, one severe thunderstorm warning and some flash flood warnings. That's what we're dealing with over in New Mexico. I don't know. It's still kind of tight there. But east of Grady, Grady's like had guardian angels around you here tonight. That's awesome. Getting some good rain out there, don't get me wrong, and flooding and stuff. But this hail core pretty much danced all around you all night. Now it's pushing a little further to the southeast, away from you. But I still see that, man, that's quite the notch right there. That's an inflow notch, we call it. And this, let me stop and we'll look at, see what the velocity looks like, our wind. There it is. Red and green together, so we do have a rotation. Worth watching, so we'll continue that for a little bit longer. Now, so it's around Grady and Broadview right now. If we push it south a little bit, you know, we'll get it away from any residential areas, I think. But it refuses to give up the ghost. It's looking better back towards Tucumcari. These storms, I think, are trending down a little bit. Not as much hail in there. Still raining at Tucumcari, so flood issues serious. All right, David, what have we got?
Well, 255. We're
Okay.
gonna finish the spot we're in, and then we're gonna go into CBS for a little bit, and then our opportunity to hit 255 for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
There's another lightning hit. Man, that's about 4 here at News Channel 10. Yeah. We may or may not take that, David. We'll see. We'll let you know. We'll do. Okay, update. Oh, okay. Getting word that we'll get that new severe thunderstorm watch that we've been anticipating, and show you about that. You know, we've had this original watch that goes until 3 a.m. What I think we're going to do is we're going to see it extended south a little bit, mainly in New Mexico and probably south of I-40 in Texas is what I would anticipate. Fill in, baby. I'm looking at the radar. Any kind of issues or questions or comments? Or?
No, I think most people are hanging out.
A lot of lightning.
Yep.
Heavy rain in Canyon, okay. A lot of rain and lightning in Canyon, that's right. Okay, you know, it's not severe in either Amarillo or Canyon. Just too much water is really going to be our main threat. Let's see, back up here. Yeah, all of that just non-severe rain. And then we get out to the west. Just can't seem to get rid of that. Hey, it's really looking better for Grady, and I'm happy about this. The rotation part is now off to your east. Looks like the hail is moving off to your east and weakening a little bit, but still some heavy rain. We still got rotation there, so gonna have to watch a little bit longer.
There does appear to be a nice power outage out in Canyon.
Okay, some power outages around Canyon. All right. Power outages in Canyon. Very good. Okay. Well, we're probably getting a few around, and I'm surprised we're still on the air. As a matter of fact,
Generators are solid.
yeah, they are. We're built for taking some hits. That's for sure. Okay, so here's a close-up look on the last storm giving us problems.
So what is that inflow notch you mentioned? What does that do? What's the purpose of that?
Well, it just shows what happens is this is where the storm's tapping into the inflow, the air coming in, and then we get that updraft, and then that updraft is rotating, so the rain and the hail kind of wraps around. That's where we have the rotation. What I would like to see is the outflow take over. You know, we get the rain, cooled air. If we get that to fall and sweep through there, then it cuts that off, you know, and it kills it off. But man, this has just been stationary storms. I mean, we're not getting enough motion to take care of that. Man, that's a lot of rain. A lot of rain and hail. Okay, hey, it looks like it might be closing off. You see that?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
So that is the rear flank downdraft, we call it. And if we can get that to cut on through there, it's going to choke that baby off. Yeah, I think that might be happening.
Very cool.
Might be happening. Even out on the front edge here, I think we're becoming what we call outflow dominant instead of inflow dominant. And that's sometimes the nemesis for rotations. Good deal. But we're not quite there yet, so we'll give it a little bit longer and make sure. See what kind of report I'm getting from Amarillo. Okay, nothing. All right, let's tour the area real quick and point out some places that are getting some rain. Where am I? Oh. Okay, yeah, that watch is going to be pushed south for a few more hours, it looks like. Amarillo will probably be discontinued out of that. Okay, rain coming into Perryton. I got to point out, just south of Perryton last night was a tremendous amount of rainfall between there and Wolf Creek. So watch out for even tomorrow morning when you get out and about. We could have some flooding issues there. Rain's starting to come into Canadian. If you live in Lipscomb and Beaver County, we'll start to get it in there. Pampa soaking up some rain. A lot of lightning there. Miami, it's knocking on the door. So Panhandle and White Deer, a lot of rain. It's been raining in Amarillo, and we've probably had more than half an inch, more to come. Canyon, some power outages and heavy rain there. And another area we're going to have to watch out for flooding is north of Hereford. That's been another area that rain has been prolific out that way. So that's around Sims, Highway 214. We got to watch out for that. Here's hit number 5. Lightning hit number 5, I think, yeah. Waiting on the thunder. Okay, yeah. And then here's our severe storm that's been rotating, but I think we might be watching a structure change, which is going to help. And you know, need to get that rotation down, get the hail down, and then we'll call it off. But back towards Tucumcari. Hey, good. It looks like, you know, we may be trending to build that stuff back to the west away from you. That also kind of tells me we may be developing some outflow that's going to push this stuff down to the south. So that's helping out. Changing systems here. I'm closed in on the Grady storm. And I'm noticing this start to push south. That's outflow. And then we're getting this outflow. If we can squeeze off that inflow a little bit more, I think we'll see a pretty quick disruption of that hail. And I think everybody's ready for that. Grady, you're getting some good solid rain. Watching out for the flooding, the hail threat decreasing for the time being. We got looks like a new flash flood warning for that same area. Let me read some details on that. Flash flood warning for the same storm that's dropped so much rainfall. And, okay. National Weather Service in Albuquerque has issued a flash flood warning for northern Curry and southeastern Quay till 4:30. Okay, yeah, estimates between 2 and 7 inches of rain have fallen. Additional amounts of 1 to 2 inches is possible. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected soon. So let me walk you through that again, and I'm going to come back to a graphic I have up. Yeah, okay, here we go. So this is just some corroboration. The Weather Service in Albuquerque says, okay, 2 to 7 inches of rain has already fallen, and I've got an estimate there of 8 for the storm there around Grady. 8 inches, and they say there might be another inch or two before that winds down. So, you know, you don't have to be much of a mathematician here. See, that's adding up to 10 inches of rain. So, you know, think about a foot of rain, a foot of water over a very widespread area, say part of a county. A foot of water spread out over a county. Where does that go? I mean, the ground does not absorb. We're going to have new lakes. We're going to have new playas. We're going to have arroyos that are just, rivers. That's going to wash out things, and it's going to be a major danger until that winds down. Plus, there's going to be hail accumulation in there. It's going to be crazy. So all kinds of water there. Coming back to our Grady storm, still watching our trend. I'm liking it. Starting to really spread out now. That was not happening for a long time. So the rain's spreading out. Even the backside, what we'd call the rear flank, spreading down. And notice our notch is starting to fill in here. Hallelujah. Now we still got that the hail core. It's probably around Broadview, and had some hail damage there. So bad break. But what I think we're seeing is the tendency for us to disrupt the inflow, kill the circulation, and it won't take long for that to stop supporting hail. And I think we'll see it spread out, and the rain and hail threat's going to go down. So that's what we got for now. So we'll be back to look at that. But that looks structurally a lot less intense than it did earlier. Okay. So yeah, let's back it up. We'll just go back and see what's happening around the region. I've tracked more rain the last several nights. Seems like the last 2 years together. Drought monitor, we've seen improvements today, and this is going to help out tremendously. Next week we ought to really start to see improvements in the drought situation. This is awesome. Unfortunately, we're starting to talk about too much rain. Agriculture interests are going, okay, yeah, we wanted the rain, but we also got to be able to drive a tractor without it burying up, and it's going to be, have some bad aspects to it. Amarillo, a lot of rain. Panhandle, Pampa, Highway 60 is just very wet. Canyon, good to see all that rain. Power outages, though. Hereford, heavy rain's knocking on your door. It's coming into Bootleg, Westway, Sims. This is another area that it wouldn't surprise me to get a flood advisory or a flash flood warning. Yeah, that's looking better. Grady, we got that hail moving away from you now. Looks like it is near Broadview. Still could be looking at a couple of golf balls in there. But the rotation, I think, is starting to finally get overrun and undercut by some outflow, which is going to bring that circulation down and bring the hail down too. So I think we're on the cusp of some improvements. Tucumcari, yeah, looking better. The heavier cells are now starting to push down to the south, and that's going to help out alleviate some of the water problems you got. Early reports of a foot or two of water in parts of Tucumcari. So you're going to rain lightly, I think, but the heavy stuff is going to be moving out. Okay, I'm watching two radars at the same time. While we wait on a scan, that's just looking better and better. Oops, wrong one. Okay, you've seen me enough. Let's go to Tower Cam. Plenty of rain in Amarillo, probably working on about 3/4 of an inch right now without any hail. Bushland, a lot of rain out that way, non-severe. That's another lightning hit, but we're staying on there. You see that flash right there. We have a little delay sometimes. I think that was probably associated with the same one that hit our tower. Come back downtown. Yeah, okay. Looking better in New Mexico. Got a report I'm going to check on. Okay. The storm that's now east of Grady, we got about a 54-mile-an-hour wind on that. Now, I'm going to come back to that and tell you what that means. So I've talked about the rain spreading out and stuff. Well, think about pouring water on the floor. When it hits, it spreads out, right? Well, when you have a storm dump its core, it hits and that rain and cool air spreads out. So that's why we get strong straight line winds. And I think that's what's happening right in here. Whoops. Another lightning hit. Let's see if I can find this one. See if we get a lightning flash here. I'm just playing now, so okay. So where was it? Okay, so we're talking about this storm dumping its core now. And okay, so all that rain and hail, cool air hits, spreads out, and man, we become outflow dominant in there. It doesn't look like that's what's happening. That core, that inflow is really getting disrupted. It looks like the hail size is coming down, and we're looking a lot better. So I think we're about maybe 10 minutes away from wrapping up here. Been a long time coming. And by the way, if you live in Clovis, okay, we're starting to gain some momentum on all this rain coming your way, but notice that hail core has weakened. This one is weakening, and this was really the last strongly rotating storm. If we continue that trend, it's going to really bode well for what comes down to Clovis and Farwell and Bovina, places that were hammered last night with, you know, more like 80 to 90 mile an hour wind and golf ball or bigger hail that did a lot of damage. So looking a little better here. While we wait on a scan, we'll come back and tour the area. Yeah, that's looking a lot better there. Oops. You know, I think even though we're not going to see widespread severe after this, some power outages, definitely some flooding. Okay, solid rain moving into the eastern part of the area. Amarillo, we're kind of down to moderate rain, but it does harbor quite a bit of lightning. Claude, you're starting to get into it. I-40 and Groom, you'll be getting into it here pretty soon. Deaf Smith County really covered up. Definitely looking better there east of Grady. That's the storm approaching Clovis, maybe 45 minutes or so. Things are getting better out of Tucumcari. Fantastic. But storm is leaving behind just torrential amounts of rainfall. Lightning hit. Man, we're taking a lot of these. Fortunately, our lightning suppression systems are working. Man. All right, Grady, just tremendous rain, but you're missing out on the hail. Broadview, it's moving out away from you. So yeah, I think what's happening is that complex of storms I've been talking about. I'll zoom out and show you. Yeah, it's, earlier we had the complex, which was right here and was pushing the rain. That's why we had that bow out there. I think the outflow has starting to take hold out here too. So it's kind of becoming part of the complex. So instead of those individual rotating supercells, now we got more of a line in there that's pushing out. So we just kind of been waiting on that to happen. That's good. Now we can still get areas of hail, but I think our tornado risk and threat is really going down. So very good. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap up this continuous coverage. If you live in Clovis and Grady and said, yeah, it's going to rain and hail, and there's probably going to be some flooding, but I really think any risk of tornadoes is down. So we're going to wrap up, and I'll have a shift change here coming up pretty soon. So Tanner will take over, and if there's any big dangers, we'll let you know. You can always watch our TV screen, and it'll have your county coming up with the radar and stuff. You can see what's happening there. But overall, I think we're trending down enough that we can kind of close up shop here on our continuous feed. And thank you for joining us. We'll do this anytime the weather's rough, and even if it goes overnight like this, we know you depend on us, and we'll do what we can to keep you safe. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for your reports. Could be another severe weather night tomorrow. We'll be back at it. As always, on News Channel 10, our first alert team, we're going to keep you safe.